I the asshole for not inviting my friends to a closed practice? Last summer was the summer before my senior year of high school. I, male 18, got an amazing opportunity to work at a well-established country club for the summer. I was so happy to have a good summer job to start saving up for college. Not only that, but I was able to refer my friends, and a handful of them also got hired. It was a dream come true to work with my friends. As we started working, I started gaining recognition from management. I'm very hardworking and athletic, a real team leader. I started earning promotions and perks at work. My friends started to become jealous and resentful of my success. They thought it was all going to my head. I didn't think this was very fair since I referred them for this job in the first place, but I assured them that I was the same friend I've always been. My new position did pay better, and I saw my friends less, but if any of them got the offer, I would have been happy for them. The problem came when the owner of the country club recognized my potential and hooked me up to play basketball with some players at my local college. It has always been my dream to play hoops at this college since I was a kid. It's really important to me and my dad, who also played there. My parents have stressed the importance of scholarships, so I saw this as a way to get in good with the school. My friends caught me before leaving this practice, heard where I was going, and invited themselves to come with. I told them I didn't think it was my place to invite them along since this was a closed practice. They told me that I was not being a team player and should invite them since we play basketball together. I really didn't want to blow my shot, so I told them no. They were really mad at me and still bring it up to this day. I still feel like it wasn't my place to bring them, nor was I obligated to. Am I the asshole?
Thank you, Basketball Guy 14, for your post. I personally think not the asshole. It wasn't your practice to invite others to. But I want to know, out of curiosity, did you get into that college?
I actually decided to go to a different college to be closer to my girlfriend.
Young love, I wish you the best.
Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm Benji.
I'm Kelsey.
We're the DCOM Duo. This is our podcast.
It's time.
So, as everyone knows, this podcast, we go through every single Disney Channel original movie, and we do a little podcast, and we talk about it. All right? And we somehow find stuff to talk about longer than the runtime, typically, for this podcast. But I want to say, when we came up with the idea for doing this podcast, like a year or two before actually starting it, we looked at each other and started debating, what do you think our longest podcast would be? And unanimously agreed, without a doubt, it was going to be High School Musical 2.
It was going to be this one. We have the most to say about this movie.
With the format and everything, I don't know for a fact that's going to hold true, but we have a lot to say.
We have a lot.
We have a lot to discuss. We had an Am I the Asshole post ready to go about this.
So if you're curious, that intro was a real Am I the Asshole post that we wrote a couple years ago and posted to Am I the Asshole on Reddit. And we got some responses. Benji's response was a real response we got about young love. Some people knew that we were talking about High School Musical, but and we didn't get a ton of responses, but a lot of people were like, you need better friends.
And true. We have a lot of thoughts about this movie. Like, I know we keep stressing that, but we have a lot. There's also a lot to go over with the cast because, once again, it's the High School Musical cast. That cast is loaded.
Yeah.
So strap in. If you want to put us on double speed, if you want to skip around it, no shame. This is what you can definitely do that for.
It's like the biggest DCOM, other than like the first one, but this one, the follow-up, was even a bigger deal.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. We're finally talking about it.
It's a lot of ways like, and this is going to sound like a weird comparison, but Shrek versus Shrek 2 in terms of Shrek 2 is the biggest, like one of the biggest animated films of all time. It's giant. It was bigger than Shrek because of the hype build up. It's such a good first one, and the second one is also good.
It's so good. Yeah.
There's a lot about it.
Yeah. So, just to mention, we don't have any fan mail, but if we did, we would read it. If you have any thoughts about High School Musical 2 or any other DCOM, you can email us at the dcomduo@gmail.com. or you can leave comments on our TikTok or YouTube. Like, we'd love to hear your thoughts, especially about this one. Listen to what we have to say and tell us we're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna look at me, you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Did you hear the Am I the Asshole post? It's ridiculous. We'll talk about it.
You're gonna tell me that Chad is gonna go all the way up to New York and Philadelphia to watch a basketball game? You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Okay, so we can get into the factos.
Yes, I did the factos today. This is High School Musical 2.
Yes.
If you haven't caught that by now, you might want to restart the episode. It was released August 17th, 2007.
Hell yeah.
Peak. This is like the era of us watching Disney shows.
Yes, 8 years old, baby.
Yeah. Like, we watched it a little more, but we were definitely, this was prime.
Oh, yeah. I was geared up for this one. Yeah.
This was a big deal for both of us individually. If I don't mention, like, how my sister and I watch it and she ends up listening to this episode, she'll be like, why didn't you talk about us two staying up, ready to watch it, getting all excited about doing dances?
Mm-hmm. Same, my sister. We watched this premiere. Of course we did. We were very excited.
Yeah. This was the 69th DCOM.
Nice. I had no idea this was the 69th DCOM.
I didn't know until now. That's very funny.
Can you name a better pick?
The biggest one being this. Yeah, this is the biggest DCOM.
Yeah.
So yeah, wonderful. And yeah, that the number makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like slightly past halfway.
Yeah.
The director of this film is the wonderful Kenny Ortega.
Of course.
We're going to go kind of fast through these factos. I know I just mentioned earlier this is going to be our longest podcast. That might be true even with us speeding through these factos, but everyone we're talking about here, with the exception of a couple small roles, we've already talked about in the first High School Musical.
Yeah, so honestly, I think we pretty much just say their name, and if you want more info, if you don't know about these people, go listen to our first High School Musical podcast, because we have a lot to get to. We're not going to spend time talking about these people that we've already talked about.
So, Kenny Ortega is the director. If you don't know, he also directed High School Musical 1, 2, and 3, Cheetah Girls 2, and Descendants 1, 2, and 3.
Amazing.
So, iconic,
Incredible.
Amazing, legend. He's a legend in a bunch of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him more later. We've already talked about him before.
Yeah. He's a lot
iconic.
more. He's a lot more DCOM.
Really big choreographer. That's more of his role than a director, but he's also just a very good director for specifically like Disney musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, big dude. Important. Playing the role of Troy Bolton is Zac Efron, of course. The only thing that notable role he's had since we last talked about him is he had the main role of Ricky Stenicki, which was a Prime Video movie.
Okay.
Yeah. He did notably do the singing in this one when Drew Seeley did all the singing in the first.
Zach finally gets to sing, guys.
And it sounds better because it actually sounds like it's coming from his mouth.
Oh, and he's so cute in this one. He's prime Troy Bolton in this one.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. He's like aged a little bit, which is good.
Yeah. Playing Gabrielle Montez is Vanessa Hudgens. Woo! She had a notable role in Bad Boys Ride or Die since we last discussed.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the 5th highest grossing film this year.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's the Will Smith series of like action films.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Playing the role of Sharpay Evans is Ashley Tisdale. Yeah. I mean, we should still give a tiny bit of detail on each person.
I mean, I guess, like, well, I like what you're doing with What Have They Done Since We Last Talked About
those are the
them.
only two people who have big enough careers to this day that anything has changed.
Yeah, I mean, she, like, DCOM-wise, she was in Sweet Life, Zack and Cody, Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, she's Candace on Phineas and Ferb, so she'll be in that when it airs again in next year.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty iconic. This is her most famous role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say this now because I feel like we were talking about it during watching the film. Ashley Tisdale, I think, is a director's dream work. And this is just from a pure vibe. I feel like a director tells Ashley Tisdale to do something and she does it.
And she probably has a good attitude.
Yeah. I don't know if
Even
that's true.
Even though her and Lucas Grabeel were fighting during the first movie.
Yeah. I just feel like when Kenny Ortega or anyone directing Ashley Tisdale says do something, she'll do it. I don't think she's the most talented actress I've ever seen.
Or singer.
I don't think she's that great of a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I do think she's iconic, and I don't know if you could have gotten many better people to play Sharpay.
I think she's really good for this role and good for Disney Channel.
Really, really well done role for this, and this is peak Sharpay. I think.
Oh yeah,
I think
she's full villain mode in this one.
I think her performance. This one surpasses her already good performance in High School Musical 1,
and it's better than High School Musical 3.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll talk about High School Musical 3 when we do High School Musical 3, but spoiler alert for our opinions on that, it differs. Kelsey likes it. I don't.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
All right. Playing the role of Ryan Evans is Lucas Grabeel. Mm-hmm. He's also in Halloween Town 3 and 4, so we just talked about him in Halloween Town High. Yeah. He also had a cameo role in Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. So he's one of a rare person who could technically say he's been in 5 DCOMs.
Well, like, not really.
Yeah, but that also doesn't count High School Musical 3.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, this is still his most famous role.
Yes.
But he's done other stuff. No one on this cast is really like a nobody other than, I guess, the roles of Taylor and Kelsey. Yeah. Playing the role of Chad Danforth is Corbin Bleu.
Love him.
Other than the High School Musical series, probably best known for Jump In.
Another DCOM.
Yeah. He was also in the Catch That Kid, an old kids movie I liked. Cool. We don't need to talk too much. Corbin Bleu, he plays Chad.
He's fun.
Y'all know.
Big Disney Channel guy.
Yeah. They all were getting the squeeze out of this money fountain that was High School Musical. Mm-hmm. Playing the role of Taylor McKessie is Monique Coleman, who's really not done that much outside of High School Musical.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like she's the one I'm most mad at through this film, but I don't think it's Monique Coleman's fault. I think it's the
Taylor.
writing.
It's Taylor's fault. It's not Monique. It's Taylor.
Playing the role of Kelsey Nielsen is Alyssa Rulin. She had small roles in Hounded, Poof Point, and Halloween Town High.
Yeah, which
Halloween
is
Town
crazy.
High was a bit not that small role, but like.
Yeah, she was definitely a bigger role in Halloween Town High, but Hounded and Poof Point, she has like cameos, a line, basically. Yeah.
Even though she was too young to be a cameo.
Yeah.
After all this Disney Channel stuff, she really didn't act all that much more. Although she has like an NCIS Los Angeles role.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get into the people that we haven't talked about before. A couple of these people we have talked about before, but there are some people in here that are big credits that I feel like we need to talk about because they're important to this film, at least enough. And there's some people here that are just kind of important to the series, and I didn't talk about them last time. And since we weren't really spending much time on the main cast, this seems like a good time to talk about them.
Sure.
So first off, only in this movie is playing the role of Thomas Fulton, the director of the country club, is Mark L. Taylor. Mm-hmm. He's also in Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off and The Other Me.
He's the dad in both of them.
He's the dad in both of them. Mm-hmm. I like his role in all 3 of the films. And I like all 3 films. I feel like he brings the right energy.
Yes, I feel like this one in particular, he really hit his stride. He played Fulton very well. It's very fun.
I don't think I would have changed much about this performance. I think he's pretty good.
He did good.
He's been in a bunch of other film and TV roles, mostly voice roles for TV. Some stuff he's been in includes Inner Space, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Arachnophobia, on TV, the Superman animated series, the Mask animated series, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls.
That's fun.
Like, he has notable credits throughout, especially as a voice actor, but yeah, I think his role here is fun. Playing the role of Jack Bolton, Coach Bolton.
Yeah, Troy's dad.
Bart Johnson. We talked about him before. Not really done much outside of High School Musical. Like, he's done some TV work on Hawaii Five-0, NCIS, other stuff, but nothing that critical. I put Miss Darbus down because it felt weird not to include her, but she's in one scene.
Yeah, and she's way bigger than the last one, and she's a bigger role in the third one. It's because that's when they're actually in high school. This one, it's summer, and they're at a country club. Yeah.
So what, is she going to be at the country club? That wouldn't fit.
That wouldn't feel right, yeah.
It's Allison Reed. I talked about her before. She's really not in this film. She was a Tony nominee for Cabaret. There you go. Playing the role of Vance Evans. That's the Evans father.
Ryan and Sharpay's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Robert Curtis Brown. He's been in a couple other DCOMs, of course, High School Musical 3 and Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, but also he was on Xena and the Sequel.
Oh, really?
Kind of interesting.
We haven't covered that one yet.
Yeah.
So.
He was largely a stage actor, but still a good chunk of TV and film credits out there. Stuff like Switched at Birth, Handmaid's Tale, Station 19, Trading Places.
Oh, I wonder who he was in Switched at Birth. I mean, I've literally watched Handmaid's Tale and Station 19 as well.
I think he's like a main role in Station 19.
Really?
You might want to Google that one.
All right. Oh my gosh, yeah. He's one of the firefighters' dad in Station 19 who had like a pretty significant plot. So that's fun. He was gay. Spoiler alert. Okay, in Handmaid's Tale, he was Andrew Price, which was only 6 episodes. I don't remember who that is. This isn't even important, but I feel like in Switched at Birth, he might have been like a kind of villain character that I remember. He was in 5 episodes of it, so
it's not an insignificant number.
Which, you know who else is in Switched at Birth? Lucas Gabriel. So heck yeah, that's fun. All right, we can move on.
All right, playing the role of Darby Evans, the mother.
Her name is Darby?
Yes. It's Jessica Tuck. She's also in High School Musical 3 and Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, as you could probably guess. Mostly a TV actress. Some notable roles on One Life to Live, Judging Amy, and True Blood, but nothing really I cared to dig too deep into. And then finally, I got the 3 extra kid characters that just they are showing up like part of the background gang a lot.
Yeah, so. They're like a little bit more significant in this one than last one.
Yeah. One where that's probably not fully true, but also just is genuinely like the 8th biggest kid behind the main 6 and Kelsey, because Kelsey should be part of the main.
I know, but like 6 is an even number, and like what are you gonna do? Just throw Kelsey in on the poster? It wouldn't look good.
Yeah, it's Zeke. Yeah, Zeke Baylor is the character played by Chris Warren.
He bakes.
Yeah, he was a recurring and now is a main cast member of the Tyler Perry show Sistas, which is like a pretty big show.
Oh, okay.
Not a ton otherwise. I was a main cast member on the show Grand Hotel, small various runs on shows like Zoe 101, Good Luck Charlie, and Bold and the Beautiful.
Okay.
But that's too much. He was also in Alvin and Chipmunks, The Squeakquel.
Hell yeah.
Gotta shout that out.
Hell yeah.
Where's my Squeakquel heads at?
Jeez.
Playing the role of Jason Cross, the other basketball player who just always has lines, and every time I watch a High School Musical film, I'm like, who are you?
He's like the kind of dumb one.
It's Ryan Sanborn. He stopped acting after the High School Musical series. I don't know if it's because he couldn't get jobs or if he was just like, I'm done. He studied architecture at the University of Utah, and he played pro hockey in a lower level hockey league. That was his career. Also, as a 5-year-old, he was like in the opening and closing ceremonies of the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics.
Fun.
So, yeah, a lot of people has probably seen him without realizing. He was also in High School Musical. Pretty crazy. And then finally, Martha Cox is played by Casey Stroh. She likes to pop and lock and jam
and break. Is that even legal?
Yeah. She has done not much at all outside of High School Musical.
They gave her a name in this movie. Yeah. I feel like her only part in the first one was, I like to pop and lock and jam and break. Is that even legal? Stick to status quo. And now they're like, you're one of our friends.
Yeah, I feel like her entire shtick nowadays is just, I was in High School Musical.
Oh yeah, she milks it for sure. Yeah. But she seems nice.
She had a couple of cameos on Disney projects. She was on Celebrity Fit Club as a contestant, and she was a model for Torrid.
Fun.
Yeah. And that's her. All right. If you thought the cast was long, get ready for the fun facts.
Oh my gosh. This is literally like the biggest movie and premiere on Disney Channel, so there's a lot to say about it.
There's a lot of stuff I cut from this list. Just keep that in mind, the more stuff that I say. I just kept in the stuff that I wanted to talk about.
There's just so much fun history and like behind the scenes stuff with this movie.
Because they knew this was going to be a big deal. They got all the work set up from it. And the fact that it's good and a big deal means a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people watched it. And there's a lot of history about it that's known. So in June, 2 months before the movie release, Disney Channel started airing a weekly show, a program called Road to High School Musical 2, which gave behind-the-scenes looks into the movie.
Wow.
Just building up hype. Disney, I don't know this for a fact, I really believe their whole Disney Channel department plan, like for the whole fiscal year, was centered on make this day, August 17th, the biggest day in Disney Channel history, where all of our like next shows are going to be launched. We're going to launch, like, use our star power all around here. Everything's going to be big. And they really started building that. As a part of this like promotion, they actually released a couple songs early from the film. So you got to see the songs before you got to see the film. That included What Time Is It? And You Are the Music of Me. So 2 of the earliest songs. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Not that weird. But they were released in May and July before the film. So you got to see those on Disney Channel and get yourself excited, hyped for it. At the time that this premiered, it was the single most watched basic cable telecast in history. That no other qualifiers other than basic cable, which anyone who's ever had cable TV, that's like a big category. Yeah. It's not network TV, but it's huge with 17.2 million viewers.
My God.
That's a lot. Outside of the NFL, no show gets anywhere near 17 million viewers these days.
Wow.
Like, I'm taking a second to do this. We're filming this on November 18th. Let me look at the last week's TV ratings, because I feel like we need to clarify how crazy this is. Obviously, with streaming and everything, there's a bunch of differences. The most watched thing in this the week that I got here is, for some reason, October 21st to 27th, but I'm going to use that anyways. The most watched thing on basic TV, not just cable TV, basic general TV, was that week's Sunday Night Football game between Dallas and San Francisco, which is 2 very big fan bases, and it pulled 10.9 million viewers. So
7 million more people were watching High School Musical 2.
The rating, yes.
Yeah.
Which is wild for a channel that you did not get if you had basic TV.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have basic TV. People found their way to watch this. At the time, that 17.2 million viewers, again, more people watching at the time, it beat the second place, which was, as expected, because this is America, a Monday Night Football matchup on ESPN between the Giants and the Cowboys. And then later that year, it got beaten by a different Monday Night Football game. However, to date, and probably forever, it remains the most watched cable movie ever. Any running of any movie on cable television.
Wow.
And yeah, with people not watching cable television anymore, that's going to probably stand. It's crazy. And of course, with that, it means it's the most watched DCOM of all time. Yeah. Later that weekend, they released more versions of the film as well. A Wildcat Chat version where like the stars would answer questions from fans. And then they also did a sing-along version. Those were all aired.
Yeah, and eventually they did a dance-along version where throughout the movie and the commercials, they're teaching you the final dance.
They milk this.
All for One, which I was watching it and I learned the dance with my sister and we did the dance. Okay.
DirecTV also had like a special channel where it premiered an exclusive high-definition version of the film. Wow. It was the only way you could watch the film in high definition, because Disney Channel was not high definition at the time. Crazy to think about these days, but that's what technology was like. If you include the following showings, the entire premiere weekend had 33 million total viewers.
Wow.
Which is a lot. That is, I'm only going to talk about America because these ratings are usually just America-based. 1/10 of the population. 1 in 10 people watched.
Crazy.
It's a big deal. Immediately following the movie was a preview of Phineas and Ferb. It was the full roller coaster episode, but only half of a regular length episode.
Yeah, which had Ashley Tisdale, so she could be like, this is my new show.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is widely credited as giving Phineas and Ferb the eyes it needed to become the cultural behemoth it became.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a big deal, which is good because it's a good show.
It is good.
But that's that. And then immediately following that preview, which again was like 7 minutes, was the Jonas Brothers episode of Hannah Montana.
Huge. People like a few years ago, like kind of were looking back at this and be like, wait, that was a cultural reset.
It really
like,
is. I feel like that term's thrown too often, but that is such a defining moment in like children's television.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Disney was doing a bunch of stuff to try and promote this film. And one of the coolest things that they had is before the film came out, Disney Channel like had viewers in some form, like I think it was online polls and TV ads. They had them pick a bunch of minor things about the movie. Unfortunately, a lot of this has been lost media.
Like they didn't include it.
They can't find the exact questions. We can find articles about the questions, but we can't find the exact wording, exactly what happened. Here is what I found based on someone else's research. I did not go deep in the lost media minds for this. I respect everyone who does, though. There was the following questions, and I'll give what the winning was and the options that were elsewhere if we know it. So, what sandwich would Troy and Gabriella have on their picnic? Peanut butter and jelly one.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the options that didn't win was lobster and gorgonzola panini, as if they would ever bring that on a picnic.
Well, maybe they'd be joking about how fancy that is because they get the free food from the country
as
club.
if kids wouldn't be picking peanut butter and jelly, though.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I feel like a lot of these are the most obvious picks ever. One of these in particular I want to talk about, but we'll get there.
Yeah, the other options were turkey and veggie wrap if you were interested.
You had to pick Chad's t-shirt at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Which is so iconic. Chad always wears funny t-shirts, and he's wearing I majored in vacation. That's fun that was voted on. Yeah.
The other options were do not operate without manual, wake me when it's over, and born to sleep in.
I majored in vacation is definitely the best option, so I'm glad they got that right.
Yeah. You got to pick what the University of Albuquerque's mascot was.
I find that so hard to believe that they left that up to choice.
My conspiracy theory is
they rigged it.
Maybe one or two of these were a chance, and it would be like Chad's t-shirts and the one I'm going to talk about next, where they filmed those last.
But they had to have known. Okay, they did film what time is it last, but they had to know before they started filming that.
My guess is these were otherwise rigged because they never released the results.
True.
Yeah.
The only one I remember was the celebrity cameo. We'll get there.
Yeah. So the mascot that was chosen was the Red Hawks over Tumbleweeds, Settlers, and Renegades.
Yeah, Red Hawks.
I feel like Red Hawks is obviously going to get chosen. Yeah, who's going to pick Settlers?
What of Catan?
You got to pick what was written on Miss Darby's chalkboard at the beginning. Winning option was turn off your cell phones.
Nice.
The other options were musicals rule. Detention will resume in September and have a great summer.
I kind of wish it was detention will resume in September because
I feel like that was the other one that has a chance here. Musical rule is kind of like lame, and have a great summer is too nice for Darvis.
That's lame. Yeah. Detention will resume in September is hilarious.
All right. Now for the big one, the one that people remember. Most people, when I was researching this, I thought it was only this one.
It was only which cameo will
appear in the film.
Yeah, and it's interesting what I learned in your research. It was only it was only Hannah Montana stars.
Yeah, it was one Hannah Montana cameo star. So this is the most blatantly rigged one there is.
Could have sworn like Selena Gomez was an option, but apparently not.
Apparently, the only options were Miley Cyrus, Jason Earls, Emily Osment, and Billy Ray Cyrus.
Of course, Miley's gonna win.
Of course, Miley's gonna win. Although, how funny would it be if Billy Ray Cyrus was just jamming out for All for One at the end?
That would be
really funny, but unfortunately, the internet didn't know how to rig online polls yet. It was only 2007.
Yeah, and it's literally just during the dance break of that song, you see Miley dancing for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, there's no way that one wasn't rigged. I'm being real.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the only ones where we know the losing options. We know for what skateboarding trick will Troy teach Gabriella. We know that because we saw in the film. It's the twisted flip.
And that's such a throwaway line.
Yeah.
But okay.
And what's on Sharpay's golf cart? We know it's a vanity mirror with makeup supplies.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's 2 questions that we know existed, and we don't know anything really about them. One is, what type of dessert does Zeke bake for Sharpay?
He never bakes her dessert.
I wonder if that was just a cut scene.
Yeah.
Probably.
In the first one, he makes her cookies.
Yeah.
But they like never interact in this one. Zeke talks about Sharpay and how he likes her, but I don't think they ever interact.
My guess is they cut footage.
Yeah.
And they had probably a whole minor Zeke Sharpay's plot line. Yeah. And they said, this film's long enough anyways.
Yeah, it is pretty long.
And then also, what is Sharpay's favorite drink?
No idea.
No idea.
Maybe iced tea.
Yeah, we know she likes iced tea, but that doesn't mean it's her favorite.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like the first film, this was filmed pretty much entirely in Utah. Not entirely. There were some LA scenes, but both the country club and the high school. The high school, which only appears in the beginning of the film, was filmed at the end. We alluded to that earlier. They had 4 total days of filming. It filmed during the school year. They just told the students, don't come to school.
Don't come to school for 4 days. This week, don't come to school.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I'm pretty sure I remember that was the last thing that they filmed.
Yeah.
Why didn't they film it in the summer?
I just probably whenever they could get the timing to work with the cast. Yeah. That matters more than getting the timing for the students. Students are gonna be like, okay, we'll step away for a week. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they don't have money scenes in the school, so
no, it's literally just what time is it and the opening. They talk in the school a little bit.
Yeah, and then but after the first 7 minutes, you're done with the school, which is fine. During what time is it? The film number during there, the papers they throw up in the air are actual students' assignments from that high school.
That's hilarious.
So imagine you just see your own homework fly in the air during a DCOM.
Yeah, my school had a tradition that on the seniors class last day, which for some reason they ended school a couple days before the rest of the school did. I don't know why. The seniors are done and the junior, sophomore, and freshmen still have 3 more days of school. Whatever.
That was true for us too.
Why is that a thing?
There was probably a reason.
Probably. And we need to get ready for graduation.
I think it's probably so that there's extra time in case kids need to last minute get to graduate.
Maybe. But we had a tradition where on the last day that the seniors had, they would all go down to the cafeteria where all the tables are pushed, and you grab a bunch of papers and you throw them up in the air. And all the other underclassmen would come and watch, and it was so fun. It's so fun. Just grab all your homework that you've been working on, just toss it up in the air. Yeah. Rite of passage.
All right. A couple quick stuff. Ryan and Kelsey, according to an IMDb viewer, wear 13 hats in the film.
Each of them wore 13 or combined?
It said they each wear 13 hats. I'm guessing it's combined.
They both wear a lot of hats.
But they both wear a lot of hats.
Pretty fun.
Every scene is a different hat. This was the first Disney Channel original movie to be released on Blu-ray.
Fun.
It makes sense. It's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Ortega's own personal dog was in this film.
Yep.
Manny Little Pickles Ortega is his name. He plays Boy, Sharpay's dog.
No, I remember in the behind the scenes specifically, they talked about that, how it was his dog, and Ashley Tisdale just got to walk around with him.
Yeah. The film that we watched is not technically what premiered on Disney Channel, because in basically all showings now, you get to see Huma Numa Ukunuka Apawa'a.
Huma Numa Apawa'a, right? Huma Huma Nuka
Huma Numa Nuka Apawa'a. Yeah. It was in the DVD version, but it was cut from the original premiere.
Yeah, and now if you watch it on Disney Plus, it's there. And honestly, it kind of bothers me because it wasn't in the original movie, and it disrupts the flow of the movie just to shoehorn in this musical number. But I know there are people out there who really like it, so.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt the plot or anything, but I do think it's among the weakest parts.
It makes it clunkier, and it's because it wasn't in the original cut.
But it feels very much like they filmed it for the intention to add it as a DVD feature.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it was actually ever supposed to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It was just an extra thing that they could get to do. There was a stage show developed out of High School Musical 2.
Oh, just like the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was performed internationally. Wow, crazy. Not actually that crazy.
Why didn't they do that in High School Musical series season 2?
Ask the showrunners.
Because they're haters.
Because they wanted to use other Disney properties.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah. The soundtrack album for the movie debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and it stayed there for 4 weeks and ended as one of the top selling albums of the year.
Hell yeah.
None of that's that surprising to anything. The first one was great in terms of sales as well. Individually, What Time Is It got all the way up to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100.
So that was the biggest one.
Yeah.
It's a fun song. It
was also the first released.
Yeah, first release.
Before the film even came out.
It opens the movie, like, yeah.
So got all the hype behind it. The other ones that charted pretty well were You're the Music and Me, Gotta Go My Own Way, Bet on It, Every Day, I Don't Dance, Fabulous, and All for One.
Oh, so all of them.
Not all of them.
That's
Work
all of
This
them.
Out.
Oh, Work This Out. What the hell? That one's so good.
Which is kind of wild.
I hate
and
that.
obviously, Huma Numa Ukunuga.
Yeah, and like, I bet You're the Music and Me Sharpay's version didn't do anything either.
No.
Yeah. Damn.
And yeah, like some of them were like in like the 30s range, and some of them were in like the 90s range.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did it roughly in order of most to least.
Okay. That makes sense.
And that's what I have for the factos, unless you have anything I forgot.
So much. I think just anything else I'll talk about during the movie discussion. This is a big fucking deal, guys. There's so much.
Have you ever heard of High School Musical 2?
It's crazy. We're already like half an hour and we haven't even started talking about the movie. So let's.
And we've been going quick for our standards.
We're trying. All right, you ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Give me that DPD.
School's out, so it's time to sing, dance, and celebrate for the Wildcats of East High. Landing summer jobs at a ritzy country club, the teens are ready for fun. ... But instead, their friendships and relationships are put to the test. Troy, Zac Efron, is especially thrilled with his new job and the opportunity it brings, but it's all part of Sharpay's Ashley Tisdale plan to keep him from Gabriella Vanessa Hudgens. With the club's talent night looming, will the teens allow their problems to get the best of them or let their artistic brilliance shine on stage?
This is a description of a film that people are actually going to watch on Disney Channel or Disney Plus, so they got it perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, nothing's factually wrong here, so that's good.
Yeah. Unlike Halloween Town.
Halloween Town's wrong! All right, ready to jump into the movie?
I am ready to High School Musical 3 into the movie.
You should have Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. Or maybe you did that for the first High School Musical. Okay. So this movie opens in. This movie knew it was the shit. The way it opens. It opens in the clock outside the school. And it's a very like slow kind of contemporary song. We're at, East High. It shows the outside of the school. We get very dramatic shots of like the empty hallways and the cafeteria. Like, remember the first movie, guys? We're back. And it shows like the opening credits. It has all of the actors' names. Let me tell you, when this movie premiered and me and my sister went in our living room watching it, those names were coming on the screen. We were fucking clapping and cheering and screaming like, oh my God, Zac Efron. Oh my God, Vanessa Hudgens. Like, we were so excited. That's
Vanessa Hudgens is in this?
That's like the one core memory I have of watching the High School Musical 2 premiere is cheering for the opening credits. And I remember thinking,
you just got into such a bliss that the rest of the day was a dream.
Yeah. It was crazy. I think I do remember watching the Phineas and Ferb thing too, but yeah. So it's very dramatic. Oh my gosh. And you get to see like the gym. It's because you're never gonna see it the rest of the movie.
Yeah, they do just big cinematography stuff. It's really like they're trying to flaunt their budget increase.
They're like, guys, we know this is High School Musical and this is where the last movie was going to take place, but this is all you're going to get in this movie.
They really make the bold choice to ignore 2 of the words in their title.
It's Summer Vacation, baby.
Yeah. But
which is fine enough.
Fine. We let them get away with it because it has a purpose for it. It makes a new plot.
And honestly, the timeline of High School Musical makes enough sense too because they start in like winter of their junior year And then it's summer vacation in High School 2 into their senior year.
Yeah.
Right before they graduate in High School 3.
Yeah, we just miss the time of the fall.
Yeah, we never see the fall, but like nothing's inconsistent except for Gabriella's hair length, and I'll talk about that later. With the last shot we see is the breaking free moon and the Bob to the Top ladder.
They're still on stage, which is kind of wild.
That's weird. It was the winter musicale.
It wasn't the spring musicale.
Doesn't the choir use that stage for their concerts?
Wouldn't there be a school assembly there once or twice?
Yeah.
I guess maybe that'd be in the basketball arena.
Yeah, they use the gym for that. All right, so we go to homeroom with Miss Darbus. This is the one time she's in the movie. This is something I swear I've like never really noticed. Zeke is in the front of the class wearing like a dunce cap, but it says shh.
Yeah, it's just a
Which
shush.
is so funny. The clock is ticking down.
Everyone's getting all excited.
Yes. Jason asks, so Miss Darbus, what's your favorite summer memory? And everybody groans.
Everyone's like, oh, but it's so close to summer. It's seconds away.
Yeah. And everyone starts going, summer. The way Gabriella moans.
Yeah, the way that it's like sexual for her.
Summer.
That was a choice.
Summer. The only one not chanting is Troy because he's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Is Jason chanting?
No, he fell asleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we see him in the song's about to start. In the first verse of the song, he's asleep after just asking the question to Miss Darbus.
It's pretty funny.
Like, what? Huh?
And then the bell rings and they go, woo! And they throw the papers up in the air. What time is it? Summertime. It's our vacation. Time is it? And like Chad is leading this one. He goes, what time is it? He's the one that says it, which is super fun. And everybody's like dancing and celebrating and it's super fun. And then, okay, I made a note for myself. Make sure to mention that Gabriella's hair is short now. So this is what I'm going to talk about it. Gabriella got a haircut. It's very cute. It's very fun. She has short hair now, which, okay, reasonable that this happened since winter. Mm-hmm. She like, for the summer, she's like, well, my hair is short. But then High School Musical 3, her hair is very long. Longer than it was, if maybe as long as High School Musical 1. There's no way it'd grow back. No. That long. She is wearing extensions in High School Musical 3 100%.
Is that bad?
No, I just want it to be noted. That's the one thing about the timeline where I'm like, okay, but then she has short hair, but then she has really long hair. And as a kid, I didn't know extensions were a thing.
You thought you caught a plot hole.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, no, she just definitely got extensions, which whatever. Okay, that's my one little thing. So then they go in the halls and they're jumping on the lockers and stuff.
We're gonna talk about the song, but let's get through the scene first.
Yeah, well they're singing through the song. Chad gets a cute little dance moment with the cheerleaders in the hallway. Super fun. And then they do the like, no more waking up at 6 a.m. Now the time is all our own. And for me, that was very accurate because I did wake up at 6 a.m. in high school. What time did you wake up?
In high school?
Yeah.
Well, I lived very close to the school.
So did I, but I still woke up at 6 a.m. so I could like do my makeup.
I think I woke up at like 7:15.
Okay, that's when like I had to be in my school because class started at 7:25.
No, yeah, you're right. I think I woke up at like 6:45.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember because I would get to clubs at like 7:15 in the morning.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'd wake up at 6 a.m. And in high school, I was so tired all the time and I would take naps and I thought it was because like maybe something was medically wrong with me. Like looking back, I think I was just waking up at 6 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get the basketball dance moment. So this is like Troy and Chad and a bunch of basketball guys get a fun basketball choreography. And it's because like they don't do a lot of basketball.
Game. Yeah.
Which actually they do play basketball a little bit in this movie, but it's fun that they get a little moment.
In terms of stuff they brought forward and kept away from High School Musical 1, they kept the basketball. They dropped all things Gabriella.
Yeah, she doesn't like math anymore. Oh, it's summer. Like, what is she gonna do? Mathletes in the summer?
No, probably not.
No. Or sorry, it was like school.
But she could be like, I'm gonna do something for college. I'm gonna go volunteer.
She needs a job. That's jobs look really good on college education. Okay. One big thing in this musical number that they do is the roller coaster.
Yeah.
So that's when everybody is standing in a line with their hands on the shoulders in front of them, and they go like woo as like a wave over to the left, and then they go over to the right. And this was just a thing in the behind the scenes that the cast just started doing for fun, so they put it into the movie. It was like a cast specific thing, which is so fun.
Yeah.
I wrote that it's such fun choreography, and then
Kenny Ortega is very good at choreography.
Yes, I feel like
stepped it up for this film.
I feel like it is such a step up,
especially for the group numbers.
Specifically, the group number choreography, I feel like is more intricate, a little more complicated. And not to say that like the first movie even had really simple choreography or anything, because there's some fun stuff. I'm thinking more like We're All in This Together had pretty basic choreography.
The choreography was simple so that the actors could get it. I think the budget increase, one of the first things they spent on was getting better dance lessons.
Yeah.
Making the cast and the extras better at dancing.
Yeah. And like, it's just so much fun. This number, the big dance moments are really fun. And then the bell rings again and people cheer. So the bell system is very confusing for the last day of school here. So the bell rings, and that means they're out of class.
And they start singing.
And then the bell rings at the end of this number, and that means it's still the end of the day. But then they're like going around at their lockers. Maybe they're like cleaning out their lockers. Okay, wait, I think I just figured it out. They probably gave an early bell to give kids time to clean out their lockers. Mm-hmm. That's my headcanon. And Troy at the end of the number slides on the floor. Remember that?
Yeah, that was wild. He does a little slip slide. All right, before we get into the next scene, I want to do something for this movie because we have debated before about if this movie has better music than the first one. Mm-hmm. And I want to put that to the test, and I have a way to do that.
Okay.
Every song in this film serves a purpose. I mean, it's a musical. Every song in every musical serves a purpose. Mm-hmm. But there's like certain things that they're trying to get done. This is the opening number. We're going to compare it to the first movie. What's the better opening number? This or Start of Something New?
They're very different.
They are different. This is one where I think it's more different.
They serve very different purposes.
But which one's better? I think Start of Something New is better.
I think Start of Something New is the better song, but What Time Is It is better for the movie. It's a better group number and opener to a movie. But I think, like, if I had to choose what song I want to listen to more, it'd be Start of Something New. I think Start of Something New is slept on.
Start of Something New is good. I feel like it really starts there, Troy and Gabriella's arc more. What Time Is It is a fun song.
I think it gets you in the right mood.
I think I can let Summer, What Time Is It win.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like Start of Something New is an amazing song.
We're going to keep a tally of all of this.
All right.
So 1 point to High School Musical 2 for now.
All right. So then in the hall, the boys are complaining about needing a job to get money for college, and like Chad wants to buy a car. So like, oh, we need summer jobs.
Okay. This is a fine plot, and the way that there's nothing that I'm that furious about in this plot, but the way, just remember everyone here, every character is like, I want a job so bad.
I want a job so bad. It's like all they're talking about. Okay? Keep this in mind. Sharpay goes up to Gabriella, is like, oh my God, Gabriella, I heard that you move literally every summer, so I guess this is a goodbye.
And Gabriella's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Yeah, actually, my mom said I can stay here till I graduate next year, so I'm gonna stay. And Sharpay's like, hooray. Yay. And Gabriella's like, hey, we started off on a rough foot, but you really helped me with the musical in the winter, so guess we're cool. And she does the like, ma. They really like made that a moment. The ma. It
was one of the lasting bits from the first film that people would do. I remember as a kid doing it.
Yep, it was a big thing.
They do not shy away from callbacks.
No. Why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they?
This is not a serious enough thing. The first movie's not a serious enough thing to not make like jokey fun. Yeah. This is a feel-good movie that's supposed to be a fun time.
Yeah.
This ain't an Oscar contender.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Then we see Taylor talking with Martha about needing a job. Once again, I need a job, but I keep getting beat out by college kids. now that I am an adult and I've been through both high school and college, Taylor, those college kids need the job more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, but they do. And they're more qualified than you are.
Yep.
Sorry. That's the way it is. I'm sure you could so easily get a job at McDonald's. I'm sorry. Like, you could figure something out.
Lower your standards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those college kids, like, don't have money for food. You were still living with your parents. You're fine.
Yeah.
They just want resume boosters.
Of course, Taylor would.
Yeah. And Kelsey's like, this summer I'm going to write music and grow.
Yeah.
Was that a short joke?
Yes.
Okay.
It was explicitly like a short
Was
joke.
she's a junior though. I think she's done.
Yeah.
Especially as a girl.
Yeah.
I think you're done.
I think she's done.
Yeah. And then Troy meets Gabriella at her locker. And Gabriella's like, I also want a job. They talk about it a lot, which is something I didn't notice as a kid.
But they really have to establish it because they're going to get jobs in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, and it's good that they establish that, like, oh wait, no, they all literally were all looking for jobs. They don't just do it just because.
Kind of wild. None of them were able to get a job.
I know.
And then there was 30 openings at the country club.
It really was, wasn't it? Okay, so Troy's like, yeah, a job, I guess, but like, I really just want to be with you this summer. And
Troy's the only one who's like, I don't need a job.
He's like, I just want to spend time with my girlfriend. Also, something I like about this movie is that it's now just established that like Troy and Gabriella are together. Like, we didn't have to tiptoe around it. It was pretty obvious by the end of the first movie that like these two are a thing.
Yeah.
It's just nice we didn't have to go through like, oh, do you like me? After the
that
first
would have been a
movie.
boring extra plot.
Yeah, like they're already together. Thank God. Troy says, here's my promise. And he puts on a necklace on her neck and it's a T.
Yeah, he's branding her.
He says, or she says, T for Troy. And he's like, yeah, he does brand. He said, this is my girl. T for Troy. And it's a little red gem on it, like Wildcats. And then they're about to kiss, and a kid just comes right up with a yearbook.
The youngest kid is like I would say a freshman, but it really feels like a 7th grader
compared to these like
adults,
young adults. Yeah. He just like sees that Troy's about to kiss a girl and is like, "Can you sign my yearbook?"
It's like, kids isn't the climax of the film yet. It is the second film. That's when you're allowed to kiss. But
they really make you wait for it. I like that they tease it though. Like, it's a deliberate thing of like they're teasing the kiss.
I will also say I like that it's clear they've kissed before and we haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I get because they're dating. Yeah. Like,
it feels very much that wasn't going to be the first kiss they ever had.
No.
Which Disney Channel will do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that we're giving them credit when it feels like they don't deserve it, but they've failed to hit that bar before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so then the kid leaves and they're about to kiss again, but then Chad comes in and interrupts.
Classic Chad, cock blocking.
And then they walk by Sharpay, and Sharpay mocks Gabriella. Of course she does. And then she's like, "Oh, hey Kelsey, I have a job for you this summer. Our concert pianist is gone or something, so I need you to be the pianist at the country club."
She doesn't want to be, but Sharpay is like, you're doing it.
Honestly, she doesn't really fight it though, because she doesn't have a job, and at least she gets like play piano. Like, it's a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
Doing what she wants to be doing. And then Ryan is like, cheer up, it's summer. And Sharpay's like, you know who the it boy is at the school?
That would obviously be Troy Bolton.
And you know who the it girl is?
Ryan peers over to see if to see if Gabriella's still there. Like, what, wasn't she just there? And she's like, you, sister.
And Sharpay's like, yeah, me and Troy. Sharpay and Troy. Troy and Sharpay. It just makes sense. So she wants to be with Troy.
So her crush on him has not ended.
Now she's like, I really want him.
I don't fully remember in the third movie. That's just dropped, right?
No, it's not that dropped in the third one. It's more dropped in the third one, but like she has the whole thing where she's trying to take Gabriella's part in the musical. Yes. Yeah. So,
but like, I just don't feel like it's the one thing I don't love about Sharpay's character is the determination to still get Troy after he's been clearly
I feel like it's
swung away.
It's primarily this movie.
Yeah.
Where that is her main motivation is to like date Troy.
Which is, I don't love that as a motivation. I love the actions she does to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's very
it's a good
character,
villain plot, yeah.
But I just don't really, I feel like her plan would be, I don't know. I feel like that's something where I have a bit of annoyance with it.
You don't like that she's trying to get Troy when he has a girlfriend?
Which, again, it's a villain plot, but also...
She also just hates Gabriella a lot.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was just an hate Gabriella, like Troy being like, they don't deserve each other, like he deserves better type of plot.
I think it's just like, Gabriella ruined my drama department, and Troy did too, but I'm willing to accept Troy because he's eye candy.
Yeah, I think it's like, I wish if it was a revenge plot, I would be cooler with it. But it's not, because she wants one and doesn't want the other.
It's politics. She wants to be on top.
It's power dynamics.
Yeah.
She's no sub.
Okay. So also we see Sharpay's iconic pink locker. Did she have this in the first movie?
I think so.
Okay. In the third movie, it becomes a double pink locker.
That's a good bit in the third movie.
It is. And that's like her senior year too. And those pink lockers are still at that school, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then all the kids go outside, like right in front of the school, and they do one more little reprise of the chorus of What Time Is It? With a dance. And then the school day's over and the bus comes. So hooray!
Hooray!
All right, so now we're at Troy's house, and all the basketball boys are there.
Yeah, all the boys are
Heck
there.
yeah, and they're there hanging with Coach.
They're
like, he's
basketball.
so fun.
Their Troy's house is still loaded.
Oh my gosh, it's such a nice house. It's beautiful. They have like a full basketball court in the backyard. Which I guess instead of grass, they're like, what if we just put a basketball court back there?
I've seen people do that.
Yeah. Then you don't have to do much lawn care. Sounds very nice. So Mr. Bolton is like, how's job hunting? And they're like, 0, meh. And then Troy gets a call.
He gets cold called.
Like they call his cell phone and they're like, hey, do you want to come work at the country club, Lava Springs? And he's like, yeah, that sounds great, but how did you get my name? And on the phone you hear, we've always had a student work program here at Lava Springs.
That doesn't
so are
make
you ready?
any sense.
He's brushing past the question because it's a plot from Sharpay to get him hired there. So it's so funny to just be like, oh, we've always hired students, so you want to join?
Yeah. So Troy's like, yeah, but actually, I know this one girl. She's like amazing, quadruple A student. Blah blah blah. He jumps into another room where the kids and Coach Bolton like start talking about it. But notably, he's only gone for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he's like, yes. So just make note that in this first call, he's only asking for Gabriella to get a job.
Not only is he only asking for Gabriella to get a job, the conversation ends in 20 seconds.
Yeah, which it's assumed that they just have more conversations about it later. I wouldn't be surprised if Fulton's like, let me get back to you. But Troy was very excited. And then they're like, what's up? And he's like, oh, nothing.
Why does it go up?
Maybe because it's not official yet, he wants to see if he can get all his friends' jobs.
Yeah.
Before telling them. Because later he talks about how Fulton was like, oh, yeah, we're just big Wildcat fans here. And everyone got a job.
We love the high school.
Yeah. And then the mom comes in and makes them all carrying groceries.
Yeah, the mom's in this film.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. Yeah. All right.
She grabs Chad's basketball and puts it in the sink.
Maybe it's dirty. All right. So now we see a pink convertible.
I wonder whose that is.
Yeah. And we make it to Lava Springs. And Sharpay gets her dog named Boy. And she says hi to Fulton. So we meet Fulton for the first time, who works at Lava Springs and like does everything Sharpay asks. He's got to be some kind of like director of activities or something, or manager of the whole complex. Sharpay says, it's good to be home. So they spend every day at this country club.
I mean, why wouldn't you? It's luxurious. And
Are there rooms there?
own all there.
There can't be, right?
Probably
it's like,
not, no.
You just go home and then you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharpay walks in and starts signing flyers for the talent show, like autographing them. Okay.
Yeah, because everyone wants her signature because the mom pays everyone for her signature.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna win again, and Ryan's like, and she's like, we are gonna win again, and she has the Star Dazzle Award, which is just this country club specific thing where they have a talent show and they give away the Star Dazzle Award. And Sharpay's like, where are we gonna fit the next one? And he's like, oh, we're gonna make the trophy case bigger. And Fulton also mentions that he took care of the staffing matter as well. Wink, wink.
Yeah. He's like, I did it. Don't worry.
I did.
Not realizing she's going to be mad that the entire school got hired.
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit. Not gonna lie. Okay. So then Sharpay goes out to the pool and meets up with the girls.
The girls. None of them have names.
3 generic girls that
all older.
That hang out with her at the country club, which Sharpay is very rich. So, yes, she has a posse of girls.
Do we know what Sharpay's family, where her wealth comes from?
No. Well, okay, her dad basically owns the country club,
but I think that's because of the money, not the source of the money.
And he is like a huge booster and on the board at U of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I think like real estate.
I think tech.
Tech? Yeah. He's very rich. Or maybe they just come from money. Okay. She talks with the lifeguard and he's like, oh yeah, I have a new lifeguard starting today, but don't worry, she'll be fine. And then her girls say, so what's the theme of the talent show this year, Sharpay? And Sharpay says, redemption. Oh, inspired.
Beautiful.
So good. She's like, my drama department was invaded by outsiders this year. It's been rough. True. Ryan is like, let's enjoy this place. Like, it's summer. Let's just have fun. What could be more fabulous? And Sharpay says,
fabulous. I like that word. Let's sing about it.
She says, more ice.
Yeah.
It's out with the old and in with the new. Bye-bye clouds of gray, hello skies of blue. A dip in the pool, a trip to the spa. Endless days and May shades, the whole world according to moi.
She do love the word moi.
Moi. Excuse me, bing. Thank you. Okay, so this is the start of Fabulous. And it's a very fun number. One thing I want to note is that Ryan teleports into a white suit on a piano in the pool, which I believe is just part of the meta narrative.
Yeah, this more so than the first film. The first film was usually very easy to tell when it was a performed number or a musical group number.
This one isn't performed. This is in the meta narrative.
But I'm saying this one's definitely skirting the lines more.
Yeah.
Generically.
Yeah.
They'll do stuff that doesn't make sense plot-wise while pretending it's a performance. And they'll do stuff that makes sense plot-wise while pretending it's non-diegetic.
Yeah. So this song is very fun. The beat picks up and she goes, iced tea imported from England, lifeguards imported from Spain, towels imported from Turkey, and Turkey imported from Maine. So let's talk about this.
Yeah. we want to break this down. So iced tea imported from England.
So tea, England.
Yeah, but is iced tea really?
I mean, iced tea is literally just tea that you put ice in. So if you have tea, you can make iced tea. Are you looking this up?
I'm looking on Genius to see if they have stuff in there.
Lifeguards imported from Spain. Okay, fun. Hot lifeguards from Spain.
The Genius annotation is Spain is not noted for having particularly good lifeguards.
Hey, it's because they're hot.
Nor bad ones being in the middle of the pack in terms of European lifeguard quality.
It's because they're hot. That's the point.
Dark undertones here as Sharpay talks about importing people. People migrate. They're not imported. Sharpay sees people, especially the help, as objects.
It's a joke. It's not supposed to be taken that seriously.
I think it's that Judy's annotation.
That's
very
hilarious.
Funny.
Towels imported from Turkey.
That one works.
Is that real?
Because if Turkey is very famous for textiles.
Okay.
And high quality. I always hear rugs mainly,
okay.
But towels would fit within that category.
That's good.
Yeah,
and now here's where we run into problems. turkey imported from Maine.
Really?
First off, why are you eating turkey in the summer? Other than like a turkey sandwich.
I know it's just
like
to be
a tray of turkey. Second, Maine is within the United States. It is not going to be imported. It's imported means from another country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in Albuquerque. So no, that's not a different country.
Turkey imported from Maine. Summer like never before.
I'm looking up online to see if I can find anything about like turkey production rates.
She wants fabulous. That is her simple request. All things fabulous. One thing I love about this number is how much Ryan, aka Lucas Gray Real, really gets to shine with his vocals more. Like he had some songs in the first one with Sharpay, but I feel like this one, his voice is so good with the like upper register. It's so fun. There's some very fun choreography with the pool and the beach balls. This song is very iconic. And one opinion I have, or do you have something?
Well, I just looked up turkey production by state. In 2023, I got the top 8 states for turkey production, and Maine's not in them. Do you know what state produces the most turkeys?
Don't tell me New Mexico.
It's not New Mexico.
Utah?
Minnesota.
Oh, we have such good turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, considering we have wild turkeys walk in our yard all the time. You know what?
I should have guessed that. There are turkeys literally everywhere around here. Even like U of M campus, there are turkeys.
Yeah.
Which is wild. They're wild turkeys. Okay. One opinion I have about this song is that as an adult now, it's not that good of a song to just listen to. I think it's a very fun scene. I'm a person that has listened to DCOM music a lot outside of DCOM. Like I listen to it on Spotify. This song is way more fun as a kid than as an adult.
Yeah. It's a fun scene, but also it loses impact on repeat viewings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if you're watching this for the first time, it's amazing and super fun. Once you've seen it a million times and listened to it a million times, you're like, okay, it's still fun, but like, I'd rather listen to other stuff. I don't know.
Turkey production in...
Oh my God, you're still talking about turkey.
Yeah. Turkey production in Maine is non-existent, actually.
Oh my God. Why would they say that then?
I found an article that was like a bunch more states in it. And
you know why? It rhymes with Spain.
Yes. But is there another one that they could have made work?
Turkey imported from Minnesota.
Turkey imported from Indiana.
Summer like never before.
I want turkey.
She wants turkey. That is her simple lurkey. She wants turkey. And don't make it into jerky. She needs something turkey to help her get along. She needs a little turkey. Is that so wrong? So then towards the end of the scene, she says, Troy comes in to Law of the Springs, right? And she goes, I like what I see. I like it a lot. Is this absolutely fabulous? And she goes, absolutely. And then she sees Gabriella,
the new lifeguard,
and Troy is waving to Gabriella and going like, ha, yeah, that's my girlfriend. He's like, oh. And Sharpay goes, not. And then she falls in the pool. And we rewound this because Benji didn't believe that she naturally fell into the pool.
I kind of thought she like jumped in to try and get Troy to save her, which doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and it's not.
But it's not what happened. It was a genuine fall.
Yeah. It was a genuine fall. She is wearing heels. She's wearing like wedges to the pool. Okay.
And apparently she can't swim.
Yeah. It is a 6-foot pool, to be fair. But yeah, apparently she sucks at swimming. Even though she wants to take a dip in the pool. A trip to the spa. Anyway, yeah. She's wearing heels. She like kind of is turning because she's looking at Troy and Gabriella. Then she like just falls into the pool. And it looks pretty genuine. So she lands in the pool. She starts screaming, and Gabriella jumps in because she's a lifeguard, and she kind of saves her. But then they're just both in the pool. So I think Sharpay does know how to swim. She's just a little dramatic. And Troy comes over and he's like, wait a minute. You're a member here?
Why is that surprising to you, Sharpay? Wait, I mean Troy. Sharpay obviously would be here.
Not necessarily. It's just
could be another country club in the region.
Yeah, it's a country club.
He needs to figure out why he got cold called. I feel like he doesn't put it together.
He never puts it together. He literally doesn't. He should put it together with all the shit Sharpay does throughout the movie, but he literally never does. So Sharpay gets mad and she storms off, and then Troy winks at Gabriella in the pool. Oh.
Yeah. All right. That's the end of the fabulous scene.
Yeah. Are you going to talk about Turkey some more?
No. Something else that I promised to do.
Okay.
We're going to compare this again.
Right.
So my take, the equitable song for Fabulous, is like the Meet the Villains type song.
Yeah.
This is Sharpay. I think this is equitable to what I've been looking for.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
And I think the Sharpay Ryan version of what I'm looking for easily clears.
They're both so fun.
They are fun.
What's hard about this comparison is that the production value has gone so far up.
Yes.
In High School Musical 2. Like, they had a budget.
They had a budget, and they spent it all on work this out, but they still it still had effects.
Yeah.
It looks better. But the scene is probably more fun, but the song is just so much better for what I've been looking for.
Do 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 do. I'm okay giving it to High School Musical 1. But if you're talking about introducing a villain, Fabulous is better.
Yeah, because it's not really in it.
You could compare it to Bop to the Top.
I consider comparing it to Bop to the Top, but I feel like there's a more clear comparison.
Okay.
For Bop to the Top, which is Humanu Guapoa. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
But I feel like if you're talking about just like we're villains, Bop to the Top would be better. But
yeah, but I mean this more as like the Sharpay song.
Yeah. And Ryan's in it too. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
So 1-1.
1-1. Sharpay goes in to yell at Fulton. She says, I told you to hire Troy Bolton, not the entire student body.
And he said, you told me to hire Troy Bolton, whatever it takes.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Troy gets cold called. And they say, we really want to hire you. And he doesn't get a clear explanation of how they even know the fuck who he is.
He's like, yes.
He's the boy at East High. He's captain of the basketball team. Like, he does have a lot of clout. So, like, okay, fine, reasonable. He says, I will work for you if you hire all of my friends.
How does he have this pull?
How did he even think to ask for this? He's like, you know what? If they're cold,
it's such a hand wave plot. And it's so clearly, like, not given the credit it deserves through the whole movie.
Nobody is grateful to him.
No.
That clearly they have this job because of Troy, and literally, it's never brought up.
Every single person in the film talks about not having a job.
Yes.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Not a single one was like, I had a job lined up, but I went to this so we could be together. That would have been a decent plot line.
That would have been funny. He's like, I could be working at McDonald's right now. And it's such an amazing job. We'll talk about the benefits later. But like, everybody gets to work together. You're at a beautiful country club, getting paid decently, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we know what the raise is, and that's good. But even if they're getting minimum wage, the benefits make it better than minimum wage.
Yeah, and the fact that you get to hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
And
the fact that their alternative is no job.
Their alternative is zero job. Taylor wanted a job. Martha wanted a job. Gabriella wanted a job. Chad wanted a job. Kelsey got the job on her own. But she's never mad at Troy.
Kelsey, we also are going to talk about this. Kelsey is the one person deserving respect in this film.
Pretty much.
At the end of this film, we'll rank the main 7 in terms of most to least asshole, and Kelsey is by far the least.
Yeah, Ryan is close to not being an asshole.
But he does something at the end that honestly is just rude.
Yeah, which we'll talk about at the end. But it's absolutely insane, the pull he had to get his entire student body hired. And nobody is grateful.
No one's grateful.
These fucking kids have never had a real job in their lives. Sorry. So Fulton's like, you told me to hire Troy Bolton, whatever it takes. And he's like, she's like, how is this even allowed? And he's like, I did discuss it with the Lava Springs board. And they're like, oh, well, that means. And Sharpay goes, mother. So her parents are
her parents are the board, apparently.
Probably they're the two members of the board. So Sharpay goes into yoga to talk with her mom. And she goes, how could you? And mom is like, these are your chums.
Oh my God, your little high school friends.
You can spend time with them, Pumpkin. And Sharpay's like, no, I don't want them
Ryan,
here.
talk to her.
Yeah, talk to her. And then Ryan is like, hi, Mom. And she goes, Ducky. What are you doing? And then they start doing yoga together. It's so cute. He's a big mama's boy.
Yeah.
And she's a daddy's girl. So that just makes sense. And the mom says, tell Pumpkin that she worries too much and she'll get frown lines. And Ryan's like, I've told her twice.
They just get each other.
This is so good. And then Sharpay goes and yells at Fulton some more. And she says, if you can't fire them, make them want to quit.
Okay. I love this as like a plot concept. I hate that the movie acts like it works.
Yeah. They act like Fulton is treating these kids horribly when he's not.
He's treating them like a human being.
He's treating them like employees at a fucking country club.
He's treating them pretty kindly in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because they're teenagers.
Yeah. Whereas I kind of wish he would be like putting them a little bit through slave labor, unfair conditions, stuff like that. That would have been fun. And be like this land of luxury, their world's not working. It would also make the next song make more sense. Yeah. But no. Let's just listen to the movie. What happens? What are these conditions that are going to make them want to quit?
Let's see. All right, so we get to the kitchen. Zeke is very excited because he gets to learn from a real chef.
Awesome.
And be like, how the fuck did Troy get this pull that you can get this high schooler to work in a kitchen? Like,
also,
there's so many chefs.
Let's talk about this now. There's like 30 kids hired here. And maybe I'm overestimating, but at a bare minimum, 12. How are there that many openings? How are
they staffing the whole kitchen? I bet Fulton fired people.
Did Fulton fire people? Did he give everyone promotions? We know he gave the lifeguard a promotion.
That's true.
And it's just like, hey, Evan's family, you're paying us a lot more money because you got a bunch of new staff because Sharpay wanted to woo a boy.
And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, Sharpay wanted it. Cool. We have endless money.
We invented Google.
Oh my gosh. Zeke also mentions that he likes that Sharpay is here and everyone's like, you're crazy.
Zeke is happy about the job. I feel like Zeke is one of the rare ones I'm not that mad at.
Zeke was given an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. And he's like, thank you.
Yes.
He's like the one grateful for it.
He is like the one grateful person. And Troy is like, it's so crazy. I didn't know Sharpay's parents own this place.
He's so dumb. This is his himbo movie. He's not a himbo in 1 or 3, personally.
True. He's pretty dumb in this
He's pretty dumb in this film.
He is. He really just wants to spend the summer with his girlfriend, and that's it. But he's like, I didn't know Sharpay's parents own this place. Fulton just said that there's Wildcats fan here and jobs are available. And he's just like being so cheery about it. And then Fulton comes up behind him and is like, well, it's good that you are inspiring words, whatever, but we're not looking for inspiration, but perspiration.
Spitting on perspiration. For some reason, that became a moment. It wasn't even that funny.
It was a little funny.
It's a little funny.
He's like, all right, Troy and Chad, you are waiters and sometimes caddies on the golf course. So Fulton's going around giving everyone their jobs. Taylor, he's like, I hear you are very organized and running things. So you are handling member activities. And he hands her a clipboard, which I feel like this is Taylor's shit. This is what she's made for. Mm-hmm. And she's pissed about it. And then Kelsey, he's like, you are doing piano and you have to do classical music. Don't do anything crazy with the music, which to me, that's just instructions. You have to play the music that we tell you to play. because you're hired.
Because you work the job.
Yeah. Martha is helping prepare plates and she's cooking, I guess. She's like a prep chef. How the fuck are they trusting a teenager with this?
I don't know.
And he's like, try not to cut all your fingers off.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything like really mean to her. It's just like, hope you end with the same amount of digits that you start with, which is just like be careful about your fingers.
Yeah, because she's literally holding a knife and cutting vegetables. And he's like, Zeke, you are assisting Chef Michael. Well, I don't think he said much more than that. And then Chad comes up and he says, can we like draw straws for who has to wait on Sharpay? And Fulton says, none of you will serve Sharpay. You will serve Miss Evans. This is how you address people, as Miss and Mr., and you have to be polite to the customers. And then Gabriella comes running and she's like, oh, it smells so good. I'm starving. Like it's her lunch break from being a lifeguard.
She's way more loose and like willing to jump into a social situation than she was in the first movie.
Well, she has friends now.
Yeah. Like there's a reason. I'm not saying it's like impossible or anything, but it's a diversion from her character in the first.
Yeah. And Fulton says, Miss Montez, it would seem your lunch break does not start for 3.5 minutes. I do hope no members drowned in your absence. So this one's give or take. It really depends on if Gabriella was released to go to lunch.
For her job as a lifeguard, you can't leave duty unless someone else is on duty.
So I feel like unless she really just abandoned post and said, I'm going to leave 3.5 minutes early, someone must have taken over for her, right?
Yeah. But if she did just leave 3.5 minutes early, that's bad.
Then she deserves to be yelled at.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're acting like this is so strict. He's such a mean boss. These are very clear boundaries and reasonable boundaries for having a job.
This guy kind of would rock as a boss. He's telling you directly the rules.
And what's wrong here? You have to address people as Miss and Mr. You have to be polite to them because you're a waiter at a high-end country club.
Yeah.
You don't leave your post as a lifeguard. Don't chop off your fingers. Taylor, you get to run member activities. That's huge responsibility.
Zeke, you get to be assistant to this cool chef.
My God. And then he says, do clock in and out on time, which is another reasonable ask.
Yep.
Clock in and out on time, or you're fired. Goodbye. So he's like, make sure you're here on time and don't like do overtime, basically.
So this was him trying to get the kids to quit the job. He says, I need you to work hard.
And you should be polite.
You guys are gonna caddy eventually.
Yeah.
Here's your guys' job. Do what I do, like your job. All this is to say, nothing that Fulton says here is unreasonable.
No.
Maybe he's being a little bit like sassy about it, but that's it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I just want to keep this in mind. I just want to keep this in mind. As we move through this next song and also the rest of the film and also the rest of the scene.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, Fulton leaves. Chad says, now I'm starting to miss detention with Miss Darbus. How sick is that?
Really?
Because I think detention with Miss Darbus was worse. First off, you're getting paid to be here.
Yeah, you weren't getting paid to be with Miss Darbus. You just got to sit in a tree.
Really, Miss Darbus was like free labor.
Yeah, Miss Darbus was doing slave. If you said this about that, I would get it. It's literally slave labor.
Yeah. She was like, you had a cell phone in your hand, go paint a tree for 5 minutes. Troy says, come on, we got a hoop in the back, 2 free meals a day, and we only have to wear these stupid uniforms on duty.
All right, this is what I love. Troy is saying everything's good. Let's talk about the benefits.
Let's talk about the benefits. There's a hoop in the back.
Benefit number 1, top of the list.
Hoop in
Best
the back.
benefit.
Hoop in the back. It's literally just like a plastic hoop that's not in the ground. It's just like
on like a high building.
Yeah.
It was no net.
I think it has a net, but it's not like a very prestige hoop. But there's a hoop in the back. 2 free meals a day. This
is great.
This slaps, and it's a good fucking kitchen.
Yeah. Zeke's making the food.
Yeah, creme brulee. So that's actually sick. I think it's breakfast and lunch, but sometimes they also do dinner service. So maybe, but we see them eating breakfast.
They get 2 meals a day. I'm gonna just say they probably get to choose.
Maybe they eat in between lunch and dinner.
Yeah,
when it's not busy. But yeah, 2 meals a day. And we only have to wear these stupid outfits on duty. That's what having a job is.
Yeah, that benefit number 3 gets me on Chad's side a little bit, because your benefit is, these clothes are stupid and ugly, but we only have to wear them for like 8 hours a day.
We only have to wear them every day.
Like, no one was even complaining about the uniforms.
I hate uniforms. Did you ever have a job with a uniform?
Yeah, go for spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was when I worked at Holiday gas station, we had to wear like ugly polos. That was right. Old Navy, I loved. I got to wear whatever I wanted, which was fun.
My uniform though, for the one that I did, was just like, okay, you have to wear one of this shirt, but then we got a shirt for homecoming week, and it's just said, hey, you can wear this shirt too.
You can wear
like,
the homecoming
cool.
shirt.
I can wear 2 shirts a job, and one's just like a t-shirt.
I feel like you should have been able to wear any U of M gear, but maybe you wouldn't look like an employee then. Yeah,
but I had like a name tag to wear, so I think I probably could have gotten away with it. I think if I pushed it, I could have gotten away with it. They were really lax at that job. It was kind of nice.
I think that is nice. All right. Troy says, all for one and one for all, right?
Oh my God, did he reference a song that's going to come later?
What team?
Wildcats.
And then Chad starts, how do we get from the top of the world to the bottom of the heap? Taylor says, I don't recall you mentioning the boss is such a creep.
All right, this is going to be the start of my Taylor hate.
She got like her dream job for the summer, I feel like.
She gets so much quality.
She drives around in a golf cart all summer.
And all she will do this entire movie is complain
bitch and moan.
Or start drama.
Yeah.
Exclusively. She is the worst.
Yeah.
She's talking about the boss being a creep. What in the world was being a creep?
What was being a creep?
That's
you have to clock in on time?
That's a big allegation.
You have to clock in on time. What a creep. Oh my God. We don't have the ingredients to make this summer sweet. Well, I got raisins and riches and all these dirty dishes. Just when I had 3 wishes. And Gabrielle's like, come on, guys. So Gabrielle is supportive, which is nice. And then Troy starts in, we got to work this out. We'll make things right. The sun will shine. Yeah, this is Work This Out. I love this number. This song is pretty great. They clearly wasted their entire budget on it. Okay, yeah. So this, I'm 90% sure they filmed this scene first. And they filmed it at a higher frame rate, like with a better camera, to specifically make it like look like a music video. So you can get all the like quick dance moves going and stuff. God, they must have blown their whole budget on this number. But it is so fun. It is so fun. Yeah, it's a good time. Chad says, dude, what have you gotten us into? Come on, we can totally turn this thing around. I'm rather than He's like, he says like I'd rather be tied up in posts or something, like a slave. And they say that sure be taken here and burned in someone's toast. What the hell are you talking about? The lyrics in this song are so wild. I'd rather be literally tortured and do slave labor than have a well-paying job at a high-end country club. These kids are spoiled brats. How is Sharpay not looking better in comparison? They're like, what do you mean we can't just hang out and have fun and get paid at the same time? My God. But then they do the moment where they all bang on the pots and pans. And everyone knows the classic YouTube video of Work This Out, but no music. And it's just it's so fun. Or like you're sitting at a restaurant and your food's taking an hour and you hear in the background kids banging on pots and pans. Like, what is taking so long? They really waste all their time doing just... All right, so now they're like, payday. It'll taste so sweet. Payday. I never knew they were saying payday. I thought it was hey. but it's payday. So then now they're coming around in the song because they're going to get money.
Yeah, they're like, oh, but money's nice.
Payday.
What are you going to do with all your money?
Payday, good enough to eat. A ride that suits my style. The pool a while. Okay, one thing that Benji's going to talk about. Guys, but get ready for half an hour of Benji talking about this. Chad says, get tickets to the Knicks and Sixers. Is that what he says?
I think get tickets to the Knicks and Sixers.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Hi, Benji here. I don't know how long this is going to take. I have joked about for years how when we get to this part of the podcast, I'm going to take a half hour to discuss why this line is so dumb. And I don't know why it sticks out to me so much for so long. First off, for those who don't know, Knicks and Sixers are basketball teams. This makes sense. Chad's saying the line. He's saying, I want to get tickets to the basketball game.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
To the Knicks and the Sixers.
There's a big problem with that. One very small, gigantic problem. The setting of this musical. It is very established throughout the whole franchise that they are in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yup.
First off, New Mexico has no professional sports teams, no NBA team, no other team. But that's fine. You can probably let me think about all the teams that are surrounding the Albuquerque, New Mexico. There are 7 professional basketball teams, NBA teams, that would play theoretically against the Knicks or the Sixers that are surrounding Albuquerque. Those are the Phoenix Suns, the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I can't remember right off the top of my head if the Oklahoma City Thunder existed yet or if that was still the Seattle Supersonics at the time of this film's release. But
these are important notes, guys. Just in case you're fact checking.
Yeah. But that's a little less relevant because there's also the 3 Texas teams. All this to say, there's teams that he could go drive to and see with his new ride. Sure, potentially. Uh-huh. But he would need to go to one of those places to go see one of those teams. Notably, every one of those teams I said that's at all within driving distance, all of which would still be like an 8-hour drive. All of them play in the Western Conference of the NBA. The Knicks and the Sixers are the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. They both play in the Eastern Conference. They have 1 game a year against like the West Coast teams that they would be potentially playing. So he's saying, I'm going to go get tickets to the Knicks and Sixers. When you say I'm going to get a ticket to blank and blank, to me, that always sounds like you're talking about you're going to get a ticket to see Team A play Team B, right?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So is he saying he's going to go get on a plane, fly to New York City, go to Madison Square Garden and watch the Knicks play the Sixers? Is he a fan of either team?
He might be. He likes basketball.
He likes basketball, but why wouldn't he choose a team closer to him?
Especially because he's talking about buying a car.
He's talking all of them about buying a car. This is very far away. New York and Pennsylvania are about as far away you can get in the contiguous U.S. from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay? So the other option is, why? I feel like if he said, I want to go see the Clippers and the Lakers, that honestly still could work with the rhyme scheme.
The Clips and Lakers. Kick it with the music mixer. It could have worked.
It could have worked. There's also other lyrics that you could do there. That would make a lot more sense. The Lakers would be a bigger team for him to see than how good the Knicks or the Sixers were at the time. I guess Allen Iverson was on the Sixers around this time, but still, the Knicks have been kind of a joke my whole life.
Where was 8-year-old Benji in the writing room?
I'm just saying, this doesn't make any sense. And I don't know who let this through because it's very clear, like, why would he go see the Knicks and the Sixers?
Do you know who let it through? Musical theater nerds.
Yeah, that's the thing. you need someone to be like, what's it, the intimacy coach, but like the sports coach. If you're gonna have like a sports team, yeah, someone who's just like, no, this doesn't pass the sniff test.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I clocked you.
Any questions?
No, I think I clocked you at 5 minutes there.
Okay. I feel like I could have gone for longer if I really wanted to.
It's so funny. Another thing I liked of this was when they do the little salt and pepper shakers. You know what part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just bring their arms out and bring them back in.
It's pretty fun. The like professional dancers they got. Which actually I think I recognize at least one of them as one of the basketball dancers from the first movie. So I think they brought them back to like keep it consistent of like this is the basketball team.
These are the friends.
Yeah, these are my friends. And then okay, so they're talking about what they want, and then Troy goes, make a date with my favorite girl. We've got it made. Whoa, we've got to work key change, motherfucker.
It's great.
It's
fantastic.
So good. And the choreography is so much fun. And they all are dancing. And then they go, work this out. Bam, bam, bam. And that's how the song ends. Those final bam, bam, bounds are not in the like CD recording, like Spotify.
Which it should be. It makes it seem so much like it's punchier.
So much fun. It's so much fun. Work this out. Bam, bam, bam. It just ends at work this out. And that's it. It's sad. I always wanted to go bam, bam, bam. I'm glad they added it for the movie because it's when Troy and Chad do their little high five stuff because they're best friends. Okay. So then Troy says, once they're done with the song, so we can work it out. And Chad goes, yeah, we can work it out.
Yeah. We sang a whole song about it. In the actual life, we just talked for like 1 minute.
Think about the money. Money.
He's like, oh, okay, we can work it out.
Money. Okay. So then Fulton comes back in and they get all serious. They all stop.
Like, whoa, we gotta put our fake face on.
Because all the customers have been waiting for their burger for 45 minutes.
So
what the hell?
Troy writes "Let's go" on his notepad.
He flips it over and it says "Let's go." So the way that works for
physically,
you to see it, he needed to write it upside down backwards.
Not only upside down backwards, but on the inside of the paper.
He had to like kind of flip it. Maybe he just flipped it, turned around, and then did it. But it looked like the way they have it shot. He goes right, flip.
Yeah, no, it's just a clear continuity error, but whatever.
It's fine. It's a cute little bit. It says "Let's go," which is cute, but like logistically, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it goes like a commercial break there. All right, time to talk about "Work This Out." Fun song. There's a very clear comparison to "Stick to the Status Quo."
Yes.
These are one of the biggest comparisons I would say, where it's very clearly this is the "Stick to the Status Quo."
Both are so much fun. It's the big group in the middle of the movie song.
Yeah.
I think in terms...
It's the big going against social, like, oh, the big group thinks this, but Troy thinks this.
Yeah, in terms of, like, how it works in the movie, I have to go Stick to the Status Quo.
I was going to say, I feel like Work This Out takes it.
What?
Yeah.
But think about, like, all the shit we just complained about.
I know, but the song goes hard.
The song goes hard, but so does Stick to the Status Quo. And everybody, that is not all right. We can keep it with the love. And Gabriella being like, I think everybody's staring at you.
That's great. That is great. I love that moment. But the thing about Work This Out is I feel like it's much more the individual singers get their chance to shine, like in their couple lines that they have.
Yeah.
Rather than just three minor characters that we never really talk about for the rest of the film.
Martha's there.
I'm saying in High School Musical 1.
Yeah.
None of them really matter outside of Zeke barely.
I said, that's Martha's there. She pops and locks and jams and breaks.
Yeah.
Is that even legal?
Yeah, I'm saying in High School Musical 1.
Yeah.
That Martha's not in High School Musical 1, really.
You're right. Yeah. But I feel like in terms of the core meaning behind the movie and the plot driven, like Stick to Status Quo is what High School Musical is about. Okay. I can buy that more than the whole motive being working it out. Yeah, I feel like Work This Out is like a 2-second plot that gets immediately resolved, whereas Stick to the Status Quo is the force that's driving the movie. Except the problem is Work This Out, they don't work. They complain about their jobs the whole time. They stop complaining about the they start complaining about Troy. Yeah, they start complaining about Troy. Okay, you know what? You convinced me. I was going to come in strong for Work This Out, but I love Work This Out. I love it. It's so much fun. We're going to go 2 points to High School Musical 1. And by the way, I'm not talking about which song I like more. I'm talking about in context of the movie specifically. Because I think my opinions would be different if we're talking about which song by itself I like more. Yeah. Listening to on Spotify. That's not what we're talking about, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about in the context of the movie. The effectiveness of it. Yes. High School Musical 1 is winning. All right. Okay.
2-1.
Transition. Gabriella clocks out. Troy asks her to go on a golf course date. They're going to go on a picnic. And then now they're out on the golf course having a picnic. And she goes, are we allowed out here? And he's like, yeah, I mean, as long as you don't get caught, basically. So Troy's a little troublemaker. He's breaking the rules a little bit. And then they talk about the future a little bit in college. Troy says
Troy has a running theme through this whole movie where it's just like, I want to talk about the future, blah, blah, blah.
He's like worried about the future.
And I mean, at this honestly, point, it does.
At this point, he's like, doesn't really want to talk about it, but they talk about it anyway.
Yeah, that's like supposed to be the general arc of this movie. And I think it's one of the rare parts of this film where it doesn't really land. At least for me, I feel like I don't care enough about Troy caring about his future. And I also feel like he learns the wrong lesson.
It's something that didn't hit as a kid because I didn't even know what they were really talking about as an 8-year-old. As an adult, it's like, okay, yeah, you're like trying to get scholarships and a job, whatever. Troy makes a comment that his parents are saving pennies to pay for his college while everyone else here is living it up at a country club. I'm like, Troy, your parents, have you seen their house? Huh?
He's rich.
He's rich, although his dad is a high school basketball coach.
Yeah, and mom's probably like a super successful lawyer.
I was going to say real estate agent. I always go for
You always go real. You went real estate for. Is everyone real estate?
Everyone, that's how you get your money in Albuquerque.
Yes, because the most famous high-end real estate place in the world is Albuquerque.
It's like Mexico. But I'm like, okay, Troy. Okay, sure. But Gabriella's like, well, you're a singe to get a scholarship. Isn't that what she says? I don't know what that word is.
Singe. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'd probably get a scholarship. I'm still stressed about it. So let's just think about right now. Gabriella's like, I'm just happy I don't have to move like I do every fucking year. And oh my god, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah.
Yay. You know what goes great with that?
Grapes. They have green grapes, which they look really good. I'm a little hungry right now. So
Do we need to take a pause to take a snack? We only have 20 pages of notes to go.
We're already like an hour and a half into
I told you this was not going to be a short one. I think you're going to have to cancel your call.
I just see the bowl of Halloween candy in front of me that we had left over. I'm like, but I'm talking, so I can't really eat chocolate right now. Okay. So then they throw grapes at each other's mouths to try and catch them, and then they start running around and chasing each other. They're being cutesy. And then Sharpay and Ryan are spying from up in a cliff, and Sharpay tells Fulton to tell maintenance to turn on the sprinklers. Yeah,
he just radios it in.
Mm-hmm. And
it goes really quick. I feel like she says, I was on the fairway earlier and it felt bone dry. Can you tell maintenance to water it? I don't know how the message gets relayed that quickly.
He's
when
like,
it's also no one's golfing for the rest of that day, so they would just run it overnight, I would think.
Yeah.
But so whatever.
Sharpay has enough pull that she can be like, run the sprinklers again, even though like how much water golf courses fucking waste.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a whole different discussion I don't think you ought to get into.
No. Okay. So then Troy and Gabrielle are about to kiss, but then the sprinklers come on and they get all wet, and then they dance in the water, and they're having fun. And Sharpay's like, okay, but I'm gonna get them. Cut to Fulton yelling at Troy and Gabriella on the golf course. Now they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And he says, this isn't a good start, Miss Montez.
Yeah, he probably got told you could never yell at Troy.
Yeah, no, specifically he's trying to keep Troy here and make everyone else quit, is what Sharpay told him to do. So specifically he said, like, Miss Montez, this isn't a good look. And Troy's like, no, it's my fault. And Fulton's like, whatever. Just don't let it happen again. This is strike one. All right. Troy is trying to take the blame, which is nice because it is his fault.
It is his fault. Troy does nothing wrong in this except for the couple minor things he does wrong.
Yeah, but
we'll get to that one there. We're Team Troy.
All right, so now it's a new morning. Troy and Gabriella come in. They clock in. Troy's in his iconic.
It is iconic.
Red and white shirt. It's like the red sleeves with the white base.
I was actually keeping in mind in this film how many times, whenever they're not in their uniforms, they are in the most basic shirts ever. They never look bad.
Gabriella's always in like a really cute dress.
Yes, that's an exception. But all of the guys and everyone, they're just like shirts with plain colors on it. They don't have logos. They don't have...
Or it says like Wildcats.
Yeah. It's very basic fashion, which honestly works better and is more timeless than what to the rest of Disney's output around this era was. I mean, this is before the 2012 Fedora revolution. Layers on layers. Yes, but we get a little bit of that with all the hats that Kelsey and Ryan wear.
Yeah, true. I don't get why they're showing up to work like this. Like, those are not the clothes they're going to be wearing to lifeguard and be a waiter. Troy, I could get him changing, but like Gabriella's in this very like cute kind of fancy dress, and she's a lifeguard.
Yeah, the dress doesn't make sense when you're gonna have to change into a swimsuit, but also like maybe she wants to look nice when she's gonna go see her boyfriend.
I remember on the date that they just went on, she got off duty at lifeguard duty. He's like, let's go on a date, and she put on another just like very cute kind of fancy dress and like a bow in her hair. She had that in her locker.
Maybe she's just into fashion.
That's not how she dressed in the first one.
No, it's really not.
It's summer, baby. That was winter outfits. Now we're in summer. It's all sundresses.
You don't need pants.
Yeah. But okay, they're dressed like this because they're not actually going to work right now. They're going to go sing with Kelsey. So. Yeah. Even though they clocked in, they're getting paid to do this.
Yeah, they clocked in. I feel like this is a clear misuse of company time.
But where else are you going to put this scene? So.
Before they clock in? They could have just not clocked in.
Yeah, whatever. And I don't get why. Like, they clock in and they're like, oh, we hear something. Whoa. And they went, even though, like, are they even near the piano room? Like, I don't...
It's really ham-fisted that they just get... They're like, you need to get these two alone with Kelsey.
Yeah.
For the plot, for everything to work, for the song.
Yeah. So they go in and Kelsey's, like, playing the piano going, na, 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 yeah. And they're like, hey, Cal, sounding good. And she's like,
they really fit.
You.
This is, sorry, I'm bringing this up too early, but they really fit so many songs in the first part of this movie.
Yeah.
And it really weights this movie weirdly. Because the last half doesn't have much, that many songs.
Yeah. I mean, you've like Bet On It.
Yeah, Bet On It.
Well, you've got to go My Own Way right into Bet On It, pretty much.
But there's just a big gap between that.
Well, there's like I Don't Dance is in there.
Yeah.
And you were in the Music and Me Short Pays version.
Yeah, I do appreciate that they get to the songs pretty quick, though, generically, because that's the best part of the film.
True. Okay, so Kelsey's like, I'm so excited for the talent show. The staff gets to sing a song. You two could take the lead, and everybody else could back up and dance. And Troy goes, whoa. My singing career began and ended with the Winter Musical. And Gabriella is like, oh, okay. Well, what are you playing, Kelsey? And she's like, oh, well... I was thinking if you did the show, I wrote this song for you guys. And then they start doing it. Na 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 yeah.
Troy's like, I don't sing.
You're the music in me. So Kelsey starts the song, which isn't that interesting. How this become a very iconic song. And Kelsey...
An iconic duet.
Kelsey on the recording starts it. You know the word once upon a time make you this, and there's a reason. And then Gabriella...
Troy just walks backwards. He's like,
oh, wait a minute. And Gabriella starts harmonizing. And then Troy's like, can't help myself.
Music's in my blood.
To the melodies echoing inside my head. Single voice.
They take a look at the lyrics in the song for like 3 seconds during singing.
It is written out like this.
Sheet music, yeah. But they look at it for like 3 seconds and then they're like, I got it.
They just know it.
Until the bridge and then they look back.
Yeah, no, they sight read incredibly well. And I was originally writing down like, oh, it's kind of like the first movie when they just kind of know the song. But no, the first movie made way more sense because they listened to people audition with what I've been looking for over and over and over again. So I would believe that they just kind of know how it goes at that point. This song they've never heard before. And they just sing it just right away. What? Huh? Okay. I also wrote in my note, this song is good. This is a good
song. True.
This is a good song.
It's true.
When I hear my favorite song, I know that we belong. Oh, you are the music in me. It's really cute. At one point, you can see Zac Efron's underwear.
This was scandalous. It was the moment.
His pants just like fall down and you can see his underwear. He's wearing boxers. They're blue.
They should be red.
And then at one point, all the other Wildcats come in and they start joining.
They apparently were all listening in on the outside. Yeah. This is where it's weird because the song, it doesn't decide well if it's diegetic or not, because we also get background singers singing na 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 na.
It has to be canonical because then like Sharpay sings it later. It has.
Well, no, it's like a performance, but it's the performance of it, because who's singing the na 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 nas?
All the Wildcats.
But you see their mouths and none of them are singing.
All the other Wildcats, you only see Taylor and Chad. Na 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 na.
And also, like, again, they weren't able to learn this song after looking at it for 2 seconds.
Yeah. But they did go, all the other Wildcats did go in and look at the sheet music.
Yeah.
For the record. All right. So then after they're done singing, Troy's like, all right, guess we can sign up for the talent show.
Maybe we can work this out, but only if we're all in this together.
Jesus Christ.
That's a real line.
That's a real line in the movie. And then they sign up for the talent show.
Like, High School Musical is cringe. And we don't.
This is like
it too much.
This is the only part I feel like I really like cringe. Like, oh, they're just referencing the first movie.
It's just so unnecessary.
It is.
So they sign up, but Troy finally gets convinced, and everyone's like, okay, but we're all gonna do it.
Yeah, we're all
and Chad is even gonna do it.
Yeah. And Ryan is watching, and he goes on a walkie-talkie, and he says, Golden Throat, this is Jazz Square.
Great code name.
So good.
I love it so much.
Golden Throat and Jazz Square. See, that's a good callback from the first one, Jazz Square, because Sharpay told him not to do the Jazz Square, but it's crowd favorite. Everybody loves a good Jazz Square. Mm-hmm. So good. He says, we made intro. So then we see Sharpay.
Whoa. We're going to wait. What? We got to rank this song.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. So there's 2 arguments for what this compares to. The most obvious is what I've been looking for, a reprise.
Yeah.
But I could also see it being compared to Start of Something New.
Even though we already compared Start of
Something? Yeah, but those were separate purposes.
Yeah.
But I think what I've been looking for, reprise, is
worse.
Is what it's more trying to compare against.
Yeah.
Because it's with Kelsey at the piano, kind of really, being like, we can sing together.
Yeah, it's really one that I feel like there isn't a big comparison for, because it's like an additional song. Like, there's more songs in High School Musical 2 than there are in High School Musical 1, right?
Yeah. Regardless, I think this is a point for High School Musical 2.
I think so too.
I
think it's kind of a unique one where
it's a building on the relationship a good bit, and it's moving the plot along in a good way,
connecting them back with Kelsey and performing again. Yeah, I think that's a point for High School Musical.
So 2-2.
All right. So now we see Sharpay getting a facial, and her mom is there too, and Ryan tells them about the great song that Kelsey wrote for Troy and Gabriella, and Sharpay's like, well, Troy can be in the show, but I don't know if Gabriella is ideally suited to help Troy realize his full potential at Lava Springs. And then Sharpay asks her mom when they're going to tee off, like with the dad, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to join. So this is part of Sharpay's plot. Cool. All right, cut to Troy and Chad doing work, and they're being silly goofy. They like do a little skippy doo, which is like, they're having
fun at their job. Yeah. And Fulton says, don't. But actually...
No, he's like, you guys are going to caddy. You've been requested $40 a bag.
Yeah, you've been specifically requested.
Yeah. And Troy's like, who? And Chad's like, who cares? I would do it for Godzilla for $40. And Fulton says, close. Very close. Which is funny. He hates Sharpay.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't understand how he got into this life situation. And he's just like, I'm stunned.
So then they go to the golf course. Sharpay's like, I thought it was time for you to meet my parents.
Oh my God, because we're dating.
And then her dad shows up in a helicopter.
Yeah, lands the helicopter at the resort. There's no helipad there.
No, he just right on the golf course.
Wild. Don't think that would be allowed, but okay. No,
it's probably going to ruin the grass.
Probably going to ruin the helicopter. Could definitely crash into his country club, but Whatever. He has infinite money, so.
Yeah. And he comes out of the helicopter holding one golf club. Just for show. And he loves his kids. Oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, hey, boys, it was a good basketball season. He's talking to Troy and Chad. And Sharpay says Troy also played on the golf team, which I've never caught that before. That's why Troy is good at golf. He plays
canonically,
in high school.
Yeah, there's they give some more small character details here, because then they also talk about how Chad also plays baseball. That's plot relevant later.
And track and field.
That's not.
But like, it makes sense. I like that they explain like, oh, we don't just do basketball. It's interesting that Troy's other choice is golf.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that neither of them would do football. They have such football personalities to me.
Chad would so be a wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just imagine him as a cornerback, actually. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Troy would be the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's
team captain.
Yeah, duh.
What do they say in the first movie where they're like all like say the name at the same time?
Huh?
When they're like confronting Troy about not being a good captain, when they're trying to get him to break up with Gabrielle.
And who's gonna lose if Troy doesn't get his act together? We are. Troy!
They're like saying a specific player's name and they all say something.
They're like, the clap.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So they start doing golf and the mom sucks and the dad's pretty good. He's like, I have the record on the course.
Yeah, the dad is good at golf, but will explicitly do bad shots to make his family look better. The family is terrible at golf.
They're terrible at golf. And then Troy, like, we see him giving advice on the club to use as a good caddy would. Sharpay, like, goes, oh, and rubs his head. It's just weird. Sharpay is like, she goes from being a pure villain to just like really goofy funny though. Yeah. Like, this is the best Sharpay movie.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree. Yeah. Again, I wish the overall plot was a bit slightly different, but at the same time, this movie has a magic. We haven't been singing its praises enough because we have so many nitpicks with this movie.
Yeah.
But overall, both Kelsey and I really enjoy this movie.
We love this
You can
movie.
put this on for a smile. The music slaps. The plot is stupid in a fun way, but it is stupid, and we want to talk about it being stupid.
Yeah, but we love this movie.
But we love this movie. This movie will almost assuredly end in our top 20 of the rankings when we rank everything.
So. Yeah.
That's a really good ranking.
Yeah. So then Daddy lets Sharpay putt for him, and she totally biffs it. And then Sharpay almost runs over Chad with a golf cart, which is pink. And Ryan...
Ryan's
punts.
taking a putt. The dad always tries to fix his hat. This is like a running bit between the two of them.
Ryan putts and they put a foot up like a backboard and then it still misses. And so the mom just like grabs it and puts it into the hole.
And they all celebrate.
They're so funny. These like bullshit rich people like that are bad at golf but are having the time of their lives anyway.
We're supposed to view them as villains? This is fun.
This is iconic.
Why is Chad hating on this? Is he an enemy of fun?
And the part like Sharpay hits her dad's ball in the sand and the mom just as bad, so she's in the sand. Sharpay like puts Troy in her golf cart and drives away, and I love the mom goes, I'm in the sand. And the dad's like, me too. And they like walk away together.
They're just having a fun time.
This is fun.
Yeah. You don't need to take golf so seriously.
And the part where they all take their driving shot off the cliff
at the same time,
and then walk away in a little line with the golf club on their shoulder.
I think this is the scene, this like whole golf time, is where the cinematographers were most on point. They knew what story they wanted to tell, and they were great with it.
Yeah.
All the staging of everything is incredible.
It's so funny.
It's very fun, goofy, and making a mockery of the sport.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's good. Troy, like, I guess in the middle of the golf session, runs by the pool, and he's like, Gabriella, late night dinner, sneak a swim?
Yeah, I think they're probably from the front nine to the back nine. This is my guess. So you go by the clubhouse, so the country club, and probably to get to the back half, you have to drive by the pool.
Notice how Troy is trying really hard to spend time with his girlfriend.
Yeah. He does fail, and I think Gabriella is one person who is allowed to be somewhat mad.
But he's trying
But he
so
is
hard.
trying, and that's worth a lot.
He really wants to spend time with her. Like, poor Troy. Okay. Sharpay rolls up in the golf cart and picks Troy up, and they go play more golf. Sharpay's like, Daddy, why don't you let Troy have a shot? And he's like, okay. And then Troy golfs good. And then this is when Sharpay picks Troy up and leaves Chad and Ryan behind. And Chad is like annoyed, which Troy got to the golf cart and he's like, I don't know. Like, she just pulled me on here. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not Troy's fault. And I don't think Chad is like really mad at him as much as just annoyed with Sharpay.
Yeah, I think we have to remember Chad has a lot of hatred in his heart for Sharpay.
Specifically, yeah. And he just says like, I'm doing this for a car. Because $40, man.
$40. That's how much a car costs.
I wonder if that's a good rate for a caddy.
In 2007, yes.
Okay, that's a good point.
Because you can expect an 18 round with that group, although they have carts. The fact that they have carts, I would say that's probably like a 3.5, 4 hour game. But then you're also going to get a tip from a rich family because you tip your caddies.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Ryan's left behind because he was riding before the golf cart, and now he has to drag the bag too.
Yeah.
Poor
you know who
Ryan.
should be doing that? The caddy.
The caddy, yeah. But Sharpay just grabbed him and drove off.
Sharpay gets her come on later, and I can't say she doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. And then Troy putts in his ball very nicely, and Sharpay says, what a shame he's only busting tables, Daddy. He's so gifted. And Daddy is like, I've seen Troy play basketball. I think the U of A Redhawks will be very interested in him. How's Coach Bolton these days?
He played for University of Albuquerque.
Yeah. And then Chad just like shakes his head at Sharpay, and she's
Chad,
like,
I feel like another way to write this would have been Chad figuring out what's going on
and trying to stop Sharpay.
Yeah, or just saying like, "Hey, Troy, you're being used," and stuff like that. That would be way better argument than what actually happens.
He literally sees Sharpay pulling these strings, doing it. Taylor later is like, Sharpay's a snake. But like, they don't care. They're just mad at Troy. And I'm so pissed at it.
They could be mad at Sharpay. They could be mad at Troy for falling for Sharpay's traps. Yeah. And I would think that's a much better argument than them just being like, Troy, you've changed.
I know. We haven't even gotten there.
We're not there for a while.
We're 2 hours in.
Although, admittedly, we're probably not going to hear a song until then.
Okay. So then cut to Chad icing his feet in the kitchen, which is nasty. He complains about Sharpay. Chad says, I want to drive her pink golf cart into the lake. And Troy goes, I'll build the ramp, buddy.
See, Troy's like, I still don't like her. Don't worry.
That was such a cute line. Just, I'll build the ramp. And then Fulton comes in. He's like, this is a kitchen, not a day spa. Chad and Jason, you need to suit up for dinner service. Troy, go put on this suit and go to dinner. And this is a necktie. It goes around your neck, you moron. Whatever. Like, he's a little rude about it, but weird that Troy's being called to dinner.
Yeah. What's going to happen there?
So now is at dinner. Troy gets to sit with the whole Evans family, and there's another couple there too, which I think is from U of A, which is University of Albuquerque. We learned Sharpay's dad is on the board of directors at University of Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
Dude bro that's there is like, oh, that buzzer beater shot was really impressive, Troy. And Troy, this is when Chad and Jason show up to like give them food or water or whatever, and Troy's like, oh, well, actually my teammates are the one who stole the ball.
They gave me the opportunity. Yeah.
The way he's like not taking credit, and the way Chad would be so mad if he just said thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank you.
Which he could have, but no, he's too nice.
He's so nice. He's like, well, my teammates, they stole the ball, which he was complimenting the shot you took. Like, it was a good shot. You don't have to be like, oh, but my teammates also played basketball. He's being too modest. And Sharpay's right. Sharpay's like, you're being too modest, Troy. You were MVP for the whole season. And Chad looks annoyed. What more do you want from Troy?
He's
Chad?
Literally giving as much credit away as he can. And I feel like Chad is just angry that he's not Troy. Yeah. He's angry that he's not cute enough to have Sharpay thirsting after him.
Oh. So they like talk about scholarships and basketball, and he's like, we pulled some weight at U of A. And Troy's like, well, time flies when you're having fun. I should probably go clock out because Fulton will want me to because he was strict about that. And they're like, no, what about golf? And Troy can sing?
No, you gotta stay.
Triple threat. Troy plays basketball, golfs, and sings.
Those are what triple threat mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom says Troy can participate in the talent show. Sharpay's like, yes, let's give him a sample. Kelsey! Kelsey's there playing piano, by the way. And Troy's like, oh, no, thank you for everything, though. And Sharpay says, but you will sing later, though, right? With me.
And Troy very awkwardly looks at the mom. She looks back at him, looks at the dad, looks back at him. It takes like 5 seconds. He goes, I promise.
I promise. So, yeah, he very clearly looks at the parents who are like, you have to sing with my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't say specifically for the talent show.
No, but they run like it did.
Yeah, they pretend like he did, and that he just somehow gets roped into doing the talent show with Sharpay instead of with all of his friends. Okay. So then Troy, after dessert, whatever, just walks into the kitchen, which was empty, and screams. And then he looks at his watch and he rushes outside. And you noted that he doesn't actually have a watch on.
He doesn't actually have a watch on, and apparently that's a reference to a moment in High School Musical 1 where he looks at his watch and doesn't have a watch on, which was a goof in that one, but this one's a reference.
It could be played off as a joke, though, even in the first one. But whatever. He finds Gabriella outside and he's like, I'm so sorry I'm late. Give me 2 more minutes. And Gabriella's like, nice tie. Your shoes don't match, though. Haha, kidding. Like, she doesn't seem that mad about it.
Yeah.
But then Taylor comes up and is like, 2 minutes is being late. 2 hours is approaching a felony. Was it really 2 hours?
I don't know. If so, I get the point. But at the same time, Taylor, this ain't your business.
Taylor, what are you even doing here?
Taylor, you could go home.
Go home, Taylor.
What are you doing?
Also, I mean, Gabriella says, like, it wasn't even, like, an official date thing. It was literally Troy just yelling, like, hey, do you want to get dinner and sneak a swim? Like, yeah. Gabriella is trying to give some grace, especially this is the first time he's ever done this.
Yeah.
And he literally got pulled away.
And Taylor's just immediately like, if he's late one time, he's late forever. Leave his ass. He
just because he's a nice guy doesn't mean he's immune to boy
He's
disease.
the asshole.
Yeah. All dates are official. And then Troy goes in to clock out and change. Fulton stops him and makes him go with him. So this is the part of the movie that is full extra, was not part of the premiere. I don't like that it's here, but...
Yeah. From my best understanding, I didn't look too deep into this. It is the moment where we get the whole boy disease, like...
After Taylor does
that. And then from this point on until the point where Troy's back and he's changing.
Yeah.
So it's just like he was actually gone for 1 minute in the main plot, but in this plot, he's gone for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, which is a big difference that would be noted.
Big difference.
And he would be like, I had this really weird moment where Sharpay pulled me into a song.
She made me watch. It was weird.
And participate in it.
But he didn't even participate. She just wanted him to. It's weird. It doesn't.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, I just want to kind of breeze over it because I don't even think it should be here. So Fulton takes him out to watch Sharpay perform. Ryan starts the song. It's Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Abawa, whatever. It's about a prince, a fish prince or something.
It's their talent show thing. It's Hawaii themed. It's vaguely racist.
Yeah. Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Abawa.
It's just cultural appropriation.
Prince. There are people who love this song, but I don't really care.
I think it's the weakest in the film.
And Sharpay's like, you're going to be part of this too. And like Ryan is jealous that she gives him the like tiki crown or something.
Yeah. Ryan acts differently than I feel like he does the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's because
where he's taking this very...
It feels like a goofy little bonus scene.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. So whatever. Cut back to the regular movie.
Well, yeah.
You want to compare this?
The only comparison there is Bop to the Top.
And Bop to the Top wins.
And Bop to the Top clearly
Do we
wins.
even count this, though? It wasn't part of the original.
It's a part of what we watch. I feel like we count it.
All right, fine.
We don't get the time back.
1.
Yeah, so 3-2. It can be a half point. It can be a tiebreaker.
It's not 2-2? No, have we done 5 songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 2.5 to 2.
Okay. Sounds good. Cut back to the regular movie. Troy changes. Gabriella's by the pool, and Troy comes in and jumps into the pool. He goes, hey, lifeguard. And she goes, you crazy wildcat. And he's like, I brought food and candles, but we're going to swim first. And she's like, we're not supposed to be in the pool right now. And Troy's like, oh, cramp, I need a lifeguard to make her jump in.
Yeah.
So then she jumps in, and then they go into the waterfall.
You're crazy, Wildcat.
Yeah, you crazy Wildcat. And then they swim under the waterfall. It's very romantic. And then
he's trying.
He's trying. This is such a sweet moment. And then they stop and they listen to the wolves. Which is like, oddly enough, that's Seabrook over the distance.
Seabrook's a wild place.
And
no
then they
one's catching me unless I wanna be caught.
And then they almost kiss in the pool, but then Fulton comes and
we should have started a counter of how many times they almost kiss.
It's been
4 times.
This is the 4th time, I think, because they did it twice in school, once on the golf course, and now once in the pool.
Yeah.
So it's 4 times. And Troy immediately is like, it's not her fault, but he's like, this is 2 strikes, don't get a 3rd.
Again, the fact that they're not getting fired for misusing 2 strikes should be enough for this.
Yeah.
They can't fire just Gabrielle and keep Troy, so
yeah. Well, they can. It would just look shady as fuck.
Yeah.
But do they care? Well,
also Troy might quit.
Sharpay says, if you can't fire them, make them want to quit. So he's trying to get Gabriella to quit.
Yeah.
Which does work.
It's wild. Again, I'm mad the plan works.
Yeah.
Because he's not doing anything mean.
Yeah. All right. So then Troy is at home working on a pickup truck with his dad. And he's like telling his dad about the dinner and the U of A alumni. And that's what they were. They were alumni. And then Troy's like, they're talking about scholarships while Jason and Chad were serving me. And it was just weird.
And Coach Bolden decides, you know what? After the first movie of me just being not that great,
I'm going to be a great
I'm going to
dad.
be like the best voice of moral reason in this entire film.
And you know what? Morally, based on movie standards, he's wrong. The movie is going to tell you that Troy's dad is wrong. Not that they're like, Dad, why would you say this?
Not that his logic's wrong. It's just like his conclusion. But like realistically, his conclusion's right.
I know.
I don't agree with his movie's moral.
This is crazy as an adult watching this. So like, so Troy's like, it was weird that Jason and Chad were serving me. And Dad says, and getting paid for it. It's called a job.
Yeah.
You were invited. There's nothing wrong with that.
So true.
You're so true, sir.
Your son needs to hear that it's okay that he is treated special because it's not
something he was seeking out.
No.
And Troy's just like, it felt weird. And Dad says, hey, I love that you have the whole team working together, but you're not going to be a wildcat forever. The team is now, and that's good, but everybody's got their own future.
So true. How many people in high school do you still talk to? Not nearly as much as your entire high school friend group.
Exactly.
Like, people will still matter from your current time.
But you know what matters probably a little more? Getting a scholarship to a college. Instead of just like, oh, I had a weird moment where my friends were serving me dinner. It's called a fucking job.
Now, when we're talking about the scholarship, I'm going to wait till the basketball scene to really talk about this. But I got a lot of problems with how they're writing getting this scholarship. Yeah. But I'm going to save all that for them.
Okay. He says, nothing wrong with keeping your eye on the prize. And Troy says, yeah, but I didn't get my friends jobs for them to watch me eat in the dining room. Thank you, movie, for telling us that Troy got them this job.
Yeah.
And that's right. They're getting paid to do this. It's not slave labor. Oh, you guys have to serve me now. They are getting paid to do this, and Troy was invited to dinner.
I've seen so many other DCOMs hand wave away so much worse, and they make Troy struggle emotionally.
Yeah.
For doing so much more positive than negative by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dad says, never be ashamed of attention as long as you've earned it.
It's a great moral lesson, genuinely.
It's great. Because he has earned it. I mean,
and it's like, it's not going to be the lesson to everyone.
Sharpay is pulling the strings a little, but like, he is a very good basketball prospect.
And it's not, Yeah. And again, like I like that the stress is on if you've earned it, don't be afraid of the attention. And Troy decides at the end of the day he hasn't earned it. And you know what? As a personal choice, he can decide that. But realistically, he has.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so then he says the scholarship is special, like only a few go around, and Troy's like, yeah. And then the dad gives him the truck. He's like, what, you thought I was gonna drive this around? I can't believe Troy was working on this truck, and maybe he just thought his dad wanted a truck. Like, my dad has a truck just to have
it's a nice little, like, moral lesson. Like, hey, if you help me all with this, you learn how to do the truck stuff, and then you reveal that you're giving it away. And
he's so excited. He's like, yay, I have a truck now. And I feel like it's mentioned, like, one other time in the movie, but we never see him driving the truck.
High School Musical 3, though.
We do see him having High School Musical 3, so at least there's that. All right, so then...
That's a cute little scene. That's one of, like... it's a small scene that I really like.
Oh my gosh, the dad is so great in that scene. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah.
The movie would be lesser without that.
Yeah. All right, so Gabriella is leading water aerobics, and Troy comes in and just interrupts her teaching, like they're talking right in the middle of the class. And he's like, I'm so sorry about last night. Like, I didn't mean to get you in trouble. And she's like, it's okay. And he's like, maybe today we can have our... And then Sharpay goes, Troy! And she has a sign. She's like inside. And it says, see Fulton now. And Troy's like, well, when's your lunch break? And she's like, 1:30. And he's like, okay, great. Free cheeseburgers on me. And then he runs off. And then Taylor comes up to Gabriella. And she's like, Sharpay is up to something. Which, why don't they recognize this later? Why are they so mad at Troy when clearly Sharpay is doing shit?
I don't know. Whatever. This movie, if you're not named Troy or I guess Ryan, you're dumb.
So then Troy goes in and clocks in, and Fulton comes up, and Troy's like, I'm so sorry I'm late. But about the pool thing, like, Gabriella really shouldn't be blamed for it. And Fulton says, I'm promoting you. Oh.
I love Fulton's performance. The actor for him.
It's so good.
It does exactly what I want to him, just being a little swarmy little guy.
Yeah. And he says there's an opening as an assistant to the golf pros. It's salary based, so no clocking in. $500 a week plus tips. So we did the math, assuming it's 40 hours.
Which is a big assumption.
It's probably less.
It's quite possibly less.
So it's good. That's over $12 an hour. For a high schooler.
In 2007.
In
Albuquerque.
Plus tips. Plus, okay, he goes around and he shows them all the perks. Troy looks over at Chad like, whoa, I don't know. I have no idea. That's crazy. Troy learns he's going to help teach golf to kids. And he's like, am I even qualified for that? And he's like, yeah, they're children. Like, it's going to be
You just need to tell them which hand to hold the the club with.
Which is so true. Like, especially at a country club. Like, yeah. Troy gets complete use of club facilities, which he says, be discreet about it. Like, this is not for you and your friends. This is just for you. You can use the facilities. He gets his own locker, which has like all new clothes to look fancy for the job. He gets a whole set of golf clubs and a golf cart, which is number 14, which is his basketball number. So insane perks. He's basically now a member at the club with a golf cart and golf clubs, and he's getting hella bank as a like 16-year-old, 17-year-old.
Big win for him.
My God. He said, so Fulton's like, any questions? And Troy says, how did this happen? And Fulton
How did you get my phone number?
Well, I mean, to be fair, with Troy, it's like, how is all this happening so fast? But that isn't Troy's fault, and they should be happy for him. But Fulton says it would seem that the Evans family thinks you have untapped potential. This family has real clout, so I suggest you take the ride. Which I also suggest that. Cut to Troy teaching golf to kids. One kid is just like chucking balls with his hand.
He's like, you go, cowboy.
One kid is just hitting the ground.
Building a divot. Yeah. Another kid has the golf club. Wow. I almost said golf stick twice.
Golf stick.
The wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Sharpay comes in for a private lesson with her pink balls. And Troy tries to tell her again that he doesn't want to sing with her. And she's like, but the boosters will be there. And singing will help with that. And Troy says, look, your parents have been so generous to me, but singing with you it's not part of my job. He is trying to be so nice and set boundaries.
Yep.
But Sharpay says, I know, it's just something you promised to do.
Not in the talent show.
I know. And then they talk about his Italian shoes, and Taylor looks on.
Yeah, Taylor like snooped in and is like, He's talking about Italian shoes.
Oh my God.
He's a rich snob. Cut the bourgeoisie.
Here's the Taylor villain arc right now.
Oh, it's been the whole movie, girl. Did you not miss boy disease?
Boy disease. Gabriella, Chad, and Taylor see Troy and Sharpay like golfing, doing the golfing lesson. And Taylor says, that girl has more moves than an octopus in a wrestling match.
I want to know how long she thought of that line while she was walking up to them.
Yeah, it was like the whole time. Both Chad and Gabriella are like, no way. Like, Troy can handle himself. And Taylor's like, I did hear him asking her opinion on his new Italian golf shoes. And Gabriella says, he didn't ask me. He literally just got them today. He didn't ask me about his new Italian shoes.
Well, we do know from this film that Gabriella cares a lot about fashion.
And Taylor says, so wake up, sister. She's basically offering him a college education to sing with her at the talent show. And Chad says he would never do that.
They take it so seriously. I want to say Taylor is just like all of the relationship advice Redditors. It's just like immediately divorce, lawyer up, he's cheating on you.
So true. Taylor would be on Reddit being like, girl, you need to break up with him, wake up. Like, my boyfriend got a job and he was late for a date and it's only been 2 days, but I feel like something's wrong. And Taylor's like, yes, girl, break up with him.
Cheating on you. We only got the job because he's hot. There's a hot girl that's the daughter of the club owner who says, I'm going to smooch that boy and sing with him in the talent show.
And he keeps trying to make dates with me, but then he's late.
He still shows up.
But he keeps getting me in trouble. Whatever. Chad says Troy would never do that. You think he would never sing with Sharpay at a talent show in exchange for a scholarship? I would. It's one talent show. They're so fucking high schoolers. Yeah,
they take this stuff too seriously.
So seriously.
They need the life experience.
Taylor says, you got eyes, use them. And Gabriella says, let's go eat. And then Troy gets called away and Sharpay hits the golf ball well.
Yeah, so she's just been faking being bad so that Troy would help her.
And Taylor's like, oh my God. Like, she sees Sharpay doing this.
They get mad at Troy for, like, not, like, being pissed at Sharpay when he doesn't have the social capital to. No. Rather than being mad at Sharpay for trying to sabotage everything. They know what's going on.
The only wrongdoing that's happened is, like, he has a better job. And he's, like, the blowing dates with Gabriella. So you're right, like, Gabriella has a right to be the most mad, but even then, I feel like you just have a conversation about it.
And I feel like also Gabriella doesn't react that mean like Chad and Taylor do.
It's them egging her on to be more mad about it because Troy is very apologetic and trying to make it up to her. He just keeps getting pulled a million different directions.
Yeah.
I love Troy Bolton. Nobody can ever make me hate him.
If there are 0 Troy Bolton fans, Kelsey is dead.
True. So then we see Troy run into Mr. Evans and some U of A players, and they invite him to come play with them in the gym, which is so exciting. And then Sharpay comes in with the coral blue tie, and she's like, "Oh my God, it matches your eyes and mine! Oh my God!" It's kind of a funny little scene. Okay. So then at lunch, Troy is talking with the players about golf, and Chad and Jason bring out their burgers. And Chad puts the plate down.
Wait, big moment here.
This is a huge moment.
Very important. All right. This is one of maybe 2 recorded times through the entire movie where Troy is in the wrong.
So, but I want it to be
and noted, not even really that much.
I want it to be noted that they're talking about golf.
Yes.
Right, he's talking about golf. He's like, look at this club, blah, blah, blah. Chad puts down the burger and Troy goes, oh, that looks really good. Oh, hey. He like kind of pats Chad on the back. I almost forgot. I wanted Swiss on my burger. And he hands it back. And Chad's like, what the fuck? Chad expected Troy to talk him up to the U of A players.
When they're talking about golf, which Chad does not play. We know
Chad
this.
is working right now. So then Chad goes into the kitchen. He goes over to Taylor and Gabrielle, and he's like, "You're right. There's a guy out there that looks just like Troy Bolton, but I have no idea who he really is."
I love that line. It's so dramatic. And also, again, for what? For what?
Because he was talking with the U of A players and said, "Actually, can I get Swiss on my burger?" And
which I do think is just kind of weird with a friend.
Yeah. But that's what him and his dad were talking about. Is like, Chad's doing his job right now, and the way they expect Troy to give them the sun and the moon
when he already got them jobs. It's like, okay, but when you were hanging out with the U of A players, you didn't talk about us as much as you could have. Like, how about support Troy and his moment? Mm-hmm. How about that? Also, then Chad starts eating Taylor's food. Which also, I wanted to note that Troy said to Gabrielle, like, let's have lunch at 1:30, and now Gabrielle is eating lunch and Troy is out with the U of A players. So yeah, they don't point it out to you, but it's like that is there. Yeah, that's there. Okay. Sharpay comes in to talk with Ryan and Kelsey. Ryan is like, "Oh hey, Kelsey has some really great ideas to spice up the talent show," and Sharpay's like, "Whatever. I want the duet that you wrote for Troy and Gabriella." And Kelsey's like, no. And Sharpay is like, actually, yeah, you are going to give it to me, and you're going to put it in my key, and I'm going to sing with Troy. And Ryan says, what about us? What about Huma Huma? Well, everyone loved Huma Huma Numa.
Changing plans. He goes, what am I supposed to do with my Tiki Warrior outfit? And Sharpay is like, I don't care, like, sell it online, whatever. But in the meantime, keep an eye on the Wildcats. I don't want any surprises if they want to be in the show. And she says, oh, don't worry, I'll find something for you in the show. Or next show. And Ryan is mad. Yeah. Understandably.
Ryan's entire purpose was to be in this show.
Well, like, he sings with his sister, so he doesn't know she's kicking him out. Outside, Troy is playing basketball by himself with the hoop out back. Guys, there's a hoop out back.
There's a hoop out back. It's so cool. And he's wearing a red jacket.
Oh, the Red Hawks. Red Hawks jacket.
He's no longer Team Wildcat. He's Team Red Hawk.
At least it's still red. And white, probably, maybe gold.
Yeah.
More black. Yeah. Gabrielle comes out and she's like, hey, look at you. Go team. And he's like, yeah, it's a gift from the guys. And Gabrielle says, oh, you mean all those tall people? And Troy's like, yeah, I'm going to go practice with them. And then I'll pick you up in my new truck and we'll go see a movie, I promise. And Gabriella says, promise is a really big word, Troy. And she says, and we have the staff baseball game after work. Remember, you promised you would play? And Troy's like, right, baseball, I'll meet you there. And she's like, you forgot, didn't you? And he says, no, I just got the date wrong. And I'm sorry I couldn't make lunch today. It's been wild, you know? I can't believe how things have been working out here.
What about your Italian shoes?
Yeah, new Italian shoes, new clothes, golf cart. That's crazy stuff. Hard to keep track of it, I bet. She says it just doesn't seem like new stuff. It seems like a new Troy.
So dramatic.
It's been today.
Today he's been weird. Today's been
literally today that he
got
the promotion.
But it's just that.
Today he got the promotion in the new shoes and ate lunch with the players. Yep. And they're like, Troy, you've changed.
You've changed.
One afternoon, I don't even know who you are anymore. What the fuck? And then the Red Hawks players roll up right as the Wildcats walk out. And Zeke's like, oh, hey, why don't you tell them to come over here and mix it up? We'll show them some game. And Troy says, I don't think that's how they roll. And Chad's like, not how they roll? And he's like, it's a close practice. I'm sorry. And Zeke's like, but yesterday you said we could get some 2v2 in before the baseball game.
That's like our thing. We play 2v2.
And Troy's like, I know, man, I'm sorry.
I want to say, Zeke, I'm going to defend in this scene.
You just want to play
Zeke is like, basketball. Oh, those guys play basketball. They should come here and do that. And he's like, sorry, I'm going there with them. And he's like, oh, but we were going to play 2v2. And he's like, sorry. His complaints are very personal, and I like that. Chad's is like, get us to play with them.
Yeah. Why can't you also get the same opportunities for us? You're supposed to be the captain. Everything that happens to you also happens to us, right?
We are on a basketball team always, and that should be your first thought always. Forget the movie that was before this, where it was about how you can do stuff other than basketball.
If you're doing basketball, it has to include us.
Yes.
Yeah. I just can't believe that they're
Stick to the status quo.
They're mad at him instead of being excited for him that he gets an amazing opportunity. And it makes me really sad. I've said it a million times.
We made an Aim Out of the Asshole post about it.
Yeah, this is what our Am I the Asshole post is about. Especially when Chad says later, like, did you even ask about us? It's like...
No.
This is for him. Yeah. Can you imagine? He's like, oh, can I also bring my entire basketball team also? Like, no.
That would be weird.
It's a closed practice. Don't make it fucking weird. God, I'm so mad at his friends, especially Chad. God.
We need a breather. Storming off.
And Zeke's like, but yesterday you said we do 2v2. Like, yesterday he said, like... Do you know how many times plans get canceled? It's like, but Troy, you always...
Well, apparently they play that 2v2 all the time.
And then, okay, so Troy's about to get in the car, and Chad yells, Bolton! That's my ball.
He has to leave the basketball he's holding.
Tosses it back.
We haven't seen Chad hold a basketball in the majority of this film. When that's such his defining characteristic otherwise.
Yeah, holding the basketball. And then Troy leaves, and Jason's like, would you guys be mad if I asked if I could get one of those cool jackets?
Good job, Jason. Yeah, Jason. He does nothing wrong.
Jason's the real one. He's like, okay, that's fine. I don't have to go to the practice, but do you think I could get a jacket? That's a pretty cool jacket. Okay, so then we see Ryan walking at the club, and Gabriella and Taylor roll by. By the way, Taylor's in a golf cart. Look at that perk.
Yeah.
Taylor's just a bitch. She's like, I hate how Troy's getting promoted, but also I get to ride around in a golf cart and be in charge of member activities, but whatever. They say, hey, Ryan, you come to the game? And Ryan's like, oh, it's staff. And they're like, no, everyone's invited. So they go to the game and they pick Ryan up. And they get to the game and Chad's like, what, did Fulton send you to spy on us? And he's like, no, my sister did. She thinks you're going to outstage her at the talent show. I love how he's just honest about it. Because he's like, I don't give a fuck what show.
He really doesn't care too much. He just likes performing.
Yeah. And they're like, well, we were going to do the talent show, but then Troy bailed on us, so whatever.
Yeah, obviously if Troy bails on us, we can't still do it.
Yeah, I know. And Troy didn't even want to do it in the first place. But they're like, if Troy and Gabriella aren't singing lead, what are we doing?
Side note, this is just the plot of High School Musical 3.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
They cannot do anything without Troy saying it's okay and being there with them.
Everyone else is gonna falter when Troy moves away.
I know. He's going to Berkeley and no one else is going to Berkeley, and they're like, I don't know who I am without Troy Bolton.
You think Chad's gonna be good on a basketball team if Troy's not there calling the plays?
He steals the ball sometimes. Anyway, okay. Gabriella says, I thought we decided it would be fun to do the talent show. And they're like, yeah, but we don't know how to put on a show. As if, Troy was going to be the one to put it on. Now that Troy's gone, they don't know how to put on a show. Yeah, was Troy really
going to be the choreographer for their team? What the hell?
I feel like they need to rely on Kelsey to... Whatever. And Gabriella says, yeah, but he does, pointing to Ryan. If we were real direct and putting it together, it could be great. And Gabriella says... You know, have the employees ever won a Star Dazzle Award?
Has anyone other than Sharpay ever won a Star Dazzle Award? Is the Star Dazzle Award even real? Does this talent show mean anything?
No, but it does in the movie, and they make it feel very important.
Yeah.
And she says, I know what you can do, Ryan, so why not do it for us? And I was at first bullshit, these two don't even know each other, but they worked on the musical together probably. The Winter Musicale, Pickletown. So actually, I took it back. And Chad says, all right, look, if you want to play ball, then grab a mitt, but I don't dance. And Ryan says, you don't think dancing takes some game? You got game?
A little.
And then Ryan...
There's some serious tension between the two.
So
I want to say this. Tension. I'm not a person who ships Ryan and Chad together.
Oh, I do.
I understand that's a ship and as a common ship. This scene is so undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they don't have this chemistry the rest of the movies.
No, it's really just
it's really sequence. Just this sequence and the before and after of it.
I've seen fan edits of them and they pull clips from other movies and stuff of the actors, but they make it seem like they're just longing for each other.
Also, side note, I feel like we should get this out of the way. Canonically, Ryan's a straight character. everybody knows it's a very easy reading that Ryan's gay.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely easy.
Lucas Grabeel has even said, like, yeah, I was playing
Kenny Ortega has basically said.
It was Disney that was shutting it down.
Because especially, this came out 2007, Disney's not going to risk their extremely popular thing going for the first gay character in a Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that would come like 5 years later, like 20 different times.
Yeah. I know. So then they throw the bat up and Ryan grabs it instead of the other player from the other team.
The other player is Chad.
One team is the Wildcats and one team is like black and white.
It's the rest of the
workers,
staff, because it's a staff game.
All of the like 30 high schoolers that got hired, and then the rest of the staff that were in black and white. So yeah, Ryan grabs a bat and they do the hand thing to see like who bats first or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Ryan's hand ends up on top, which means he gets to pitch first, which is the advantage because then you can have a walk-off win in baseball. Right? I said that right?
Walk-off, yeah.
Yeah. And Ryan's like, hey, can I pitch? And the guy's like, okay.
Yeah. Ryan's just like, I'm going to play. I'm going to pitch. We're going to do great.
So Ryan's pitching first. And now the song starts.
Okay.
Hey, oh, play ball.
I feel like we need to make it a bit more clear because we're going to complain about it later. Ryan is out pitching first.
Yes. So he is the home team.
He is the home team. And this is confirmed by the scoreboard later.
Yes.
All right.
He's home team. He's pitching first.
And now we get I Don't Dance.
I'll show you that it's all the same. Baseball, dancing, same game. It's easy. This song is very fun. It's a Ryan and Chad duet.
And it's them learning to respect each other.
And like, when has there ever been a male duet?
In DCOM history? Very rarely.
Like, I feel like this is the first one. There weren't that many musicals before High School Musical. There was like Cheetah Girls.
But yeah, it's such a female-focused...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so like male duet. So fun. And they do it again in High School Musical 3 with The Boys Are Back, which is also a very fun number.
Not as fun as this, personally.
Not as fun as this, though. The sexual tension is absolutely insane.
It's palpable.
This song is a metaphor for like, I'm not gay. Yes, you are. Let's hook up.
I don't swing that way.
Yeah, I don't swing that way. Hello. So that it's so obvious. Like, I don't even need to explain it to you guys.
Yeah. Y'all are media literate, hopefully.
Yeah. I remember too, like the behind the scenes, they got some like real baseball players, like make this look a little more
the baseball
realistic.
Staging.
But also they have like dancers, and I love like the runners on base are like doing a little bounce back and forth. They're waiting for the pitch, which is so cute. So like when Ryan pitches first, Chad gets a single and he's safe. And then we see the scoreboard and like some innings have passed. The home team has 3 and away has 2, and it's the 3rd inning. Probably the top of the inning since Ryan is pitching again, is what we're assuming. So then we see the song says bases loaded. So I'm assuming the bases are loaded.
The bases are loaded here. Okay. We see enough of it for me to feel very confident that's the case.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you how I swing. And that was a line from Chad where he like sticks out his little leg. I'll show you how I swing.
It's a fun song.
Yeah. Chad bunts. And
it's like a swinging bunt. I don't think he intentionally bunts. Maybe I'm misremembering.
It looked like a bunt to me.
But it's a ground ball straight back to Ryan, the pitcher.
Yes. So it's a double play at home plate. So at home, the catcher gets the runner out there, and then they throw it to first, and Chad gets out.
Yeah. Okay. Baseball time. Yeah, if you have a sports in a DCOM, I'm going to roast you if you make stupid sports choreography. This is known. This is sports time with Benji.
Yeah.
For like the second time. This is pretty dumb for multiple reasons. Nothing in here is actually physically wrong. The actual staging looks pretty good. But with the bases loaded, when the catcher gets the ball, he could have just stepped on home plate and be out, but he tags him. Whatever. Fine. That happens sometimes. Your instinct says, I'm going to touch this person rather than I'm going to take a step backwards. Sure. And then he throws Chad out at first base. All that looks good. The amount of time that it took for Chad to get from home to first versus the amount of time it took him to get home to first on the play he was safe earlier in the song when he hit it to shortstop and the shortstop grabbed it and threw to first base. The shortstop play should have been faster. So Chad just was much slower on this second attempt.
Yeah. And he runs track and plays baseball.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there.
All right. So now we have Ryan at bat and Chad pitches. And Ryan gets a home run. Yeah,
he just hits it out of the park.
It's so good. Hit it out of the park. I don't dance. I know you can. And then they do the dance break. I don't dance. Boom.
They do one of my favorite little tropes, which is like two groups of people intersecting each other in like lines.
It's so fun. And they're such good dancers.
The dancing extra quality is the biggest step up of High School Musical 2 versus 1. Because in High School Musical 1, they only have like one big group number. 2, I guess, with We're All in This Together, but that's such simple choreo. Sticks and Status Quo's dancing extras are terrible.
But it's so funny.
And in this movie, they're genuinely great.
They're so good.
But they're all like adults, but who cares?
We also have to acknowledge that this is a song titled I Don't Dance as Chad dances the whole song. Yeah. And so, okay, after like the dance break, we see the scoreboard again, right? It's 6-4, home lead, so they have 6, away has 4, and it's the 6th inning. And then I wrote the dancing is so fun. There's lots of flips. They start doing like backflips and shit.
They're playing the game while still doing dance moves. It's very fun and very creative. I like it. Okay, so now we're at like the last play of the game. Chad hits a long ball. Like it's not a home run, but it goes really far out. And he's running all 4 bases, right? Yeah, Chad's trying to get an inside the park walk-off grand slam. Yes. That's what he's trying to do. Yes. Note that I said the word walk-off. We'll get to that. Ryan doesn't quite tag him at home plate, so Chad is safe. And they end the game. Yeah, everyone celebrates and the game is over. The final score is 9-10. This doesn't make sense because Ryan was pitching, and we know from the beginning of the game that Ryan's the home team. Ryan started pitching. Yes, so his team, first off, they should keep going. Yeah, he should get to bat again. So they keep going until there's outs, and then Ryan's team gets to bat, and if they win, it's a walk-off. Yeah. Or if they tie, the only team that should have the chance to walk off is Ryan's team. But like they score and Chad's like, oh, that's it. That's the game. And everyone just lets it happen. This is why Ryan is so depressed. Because what is he supposed to say? Hey guys, we need to keep playing. He's new to the group. Yeah, he doesn't have the social capital for that. No, he's like, I don't want them to hate me. I think I like care too much about this. Whatever. So stupid. So Ryan's all sad, and Gabriella tries yelling from the crowd, like, it's okay. By the way, during the musical number, the crowd also has choreography, which is really fun. Whatever. Do you want to rank the song? There's not really a comparison. Yes, there is. What? Okay. I actually thought this through. There's one thing that this is very clearly like an allusion to. We're going to compare this to this song twice. This is Get Your Head in the Game. This is the sports choreography song. Okay, and you're going to compare it also to Bet On It? Yeah, but we're going to compare sports choreography as the mindset. Sports choreography to sports choreography. Yeah, rather than Troy. That's really hard because the basketball choreography is very fun and Get Your Head in the Game. And I feel like it being the originator is very iconic. Yeah. I feel like I'm more impressed by the baseball one, but honestly, the failure to make it work in a game might be enough for me to give it to Get Your Head in the Game. Get Your Head in the Game was just a practice so they can do whatever the fuck they wanted. And the basketball stuff is very fun, like when they throw the ball and but like the flips and stuff. If you're looking on like how are they incorporating the sport in the choreography, I would give it to Get Your Head in the Game because I feel like a lot of I Don't Dance is just them dancing on a baseball field. Yeah. It feels like the baseball field's the setting, whereas it's not a prop move. Yeah. So, but it is very fun. So we're giving it to Get Your Head in the Game. Yeah. So 3.5 to 2. Okay. Can't believe High School Musical 1 is winning. But you know why? It's because I'm judging it with how it works in the movie. And High School Musical, not the general song. High School Musical 1 has because the general song is better for I Don't Dance.
If I was just saying which soundtrack is better on its own, if you just want to listen to it in the car, listen to High School Musical 2. But if you're looking for like context of the movie, it's High School Musical 1 because the plot is better.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
We said it. She went there.
I went there.
We only have 8 pages to go.
It's gonna be over 3 hours, guys. Sorry. So was the first movie.
I mean, they saw we didn't know the time when we started talking. They saw the time when they clicked on this episode.
You knew what you were getting into. All right. So then Chad says, "Hey, Evans, I'm not saying I'm gonna dance in the show, but if I did, what would you have me do?" And then Ryan just smiles and walks away. He's so coy. He's like, "I fucking got him. We're gonna go fuck in the bathroom.
We're gonna go change clothes."
All right. So then at basketball practice, Troy's doing a good job, and his dad just also showed up. I guess cool. Yeah. Mr. Evans is also there, and he's impressed. Benji said that this is a recruiting violation, so you want to talk about it?
Here's Benji talks about sports for a bit longer.
You can resist while you talk about this.
Okay, so I'm going to preface by saying I am not an expert on college recruiting, but I will say as well, college recruiting has and continues to change since 2007. Honestly, in the last 3 years, has changed way more than it changed from 2007 to now, or till whatever, 2020. But all this to say, I feel like I know enough to say this recruiting system is extremely illogical, especially in a finance sport, like a sport that makes the school money, like basketball. Men's basketball is a revenue sport. Men's football is a revenue sport. Typically, that's it. Some schools have more than that. But this is like, they can spend money to make money for basketball recruiting. And that's why there was often a lot of different scandals of different stuff. What's happening here is something that could get the school fined. First off, I want to say, I'll probably talk about this more in High School Musical 3 when we cover that, because I feel like that's a really interesting side note to all this. University of Albuquerque is a fake school. Mm-hmm. It was a real school, but like it died in like the 80s, and they just started pretending like it's a real basketball powerhouse. So I'm going to assume it's a big enough school based on the assumptions that they have in the arena and everything they're talking about, that it is a scholarship funded program in D1. They could play in March Madness, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Feels like a very safe assumption. Probably a better school than what I'm getting credit for. Troy Bolton is the son of a former college basketball player who was considered good, who was at a public high school, been noted from his junior year, like, there's college scouts looking out for you. And we know from his senior year, he's heavily being recruited by big programs that we know are powerful.
Yeah, and he won the championship.
He ends up going to Berkeley to play basketball, which Berkeley is not a basketball powerhouse in any means, but as an undersized, Zac Efron's not that tall, undersized guy, that's a Power 5 program at the time. Huge deal. Big school to get to. And that wasn't even his first choice. All that to say, Troy Bolton is a big recruit. Bunch of college scouts would be after him. He already would have made his decision by now.
Yeah.
Literally. Basically no one has not made their decision at this point.
It's summer before senior year.
Yes.
Yeah.
For college athletics, you make your choice usually during your junior year.
That makes sense.
When you're being this heavily recruited. Now that choice can change, and there's times that happens, but that's not what's happening here. This is him saying, like, I need a scholarship. If we assume he's, like, on the bottom of the barrel, where he's, like, just barely potentially getting in, University of Albuquerque would be too big of a school. He would get, like, a D3 school to sponsor him. And I don't think that's what this movie's trying to argue University of Albuquerque is. If he's just trying to go to school for a scholarship, he can get a basketball scholarship basically anywhere. He's choosing for his own future is what he should be doing. Getting a scholarship is easy. Like Gabriella says, getting a scholarship should be easy for him. He should be being recruited by a bunch of people.
He should already have it.
Yes. Now to talk about the recruiting violation. Even more so than them doing this private practice with alums, which is probably an impermissible benefit. The fact that one of the head boosters of a college gave him a paying job at a country club that he owns is such an explicit offense that has been documented so many times in so many college scandals. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying it has happened many times in history and been caught many times in history. It's a blatant violation of all the rules.
Like, I'm going to give you this job you're not qualified for with extreme benefits. Hey, come play for my college.
Yep. Welcome to the land of college athletics. Now, in the last 3 years, so not during the time of this movie, players can be paid, which makes everything crazy because players were being paid beforehand. It was just illegally, and it happens all the time. It's a whole thing. Yeah. I could go on for hours. But players now can just get paid for their name, image, likeness, which basically just means booths are going to say, appear in this like 5-second ad I'm not going to show to anyone, and I will give you millions of dollars because I want you to play for my school.
Yeah.
So just saying, Troy's going to be doing fine financially. He doesn't need to do all this stuff. All this extra drama is fine. He's getting this cool opportunity. Yeah. And maybe I'm just not... If he was a worse prospect or University of Albuquerque was like an elite of elite school, I could believe it. But also, if he was elite of elite school, they wouldn't just give it to the donor's kid.
Yeah.
All right.
Rant over.
I
don't know how long that one was. All right. So Troy tries to call his friends. He tries to call Gabriella. And back at baseball, Chad and Ryan switched clothes.
Yep. Definitely didn't have sex.
They had sex. I think the reason they gave was just like they thought it'd be funny. Like movie making. They're like, what if we switch clothes? Kind of
it's funny. Because it shows how much they care for each other now. They get each other.
And Ryan has this weird moment where it's like, oh, I played baseball for Little League.
Yeah, apparently World he was Series. A part of the Rhode Island team at a Little League World Series.
Little League World Series, Newport, Rhode Island champions. I think it was in Newport.
No, Little League World Series is specifically always in an area. He probably played... It's always in this specific Pennsylvania town every year.
Well, then why Rhode Island?
He was a part of the Rhode Island team.
Why? He lives in Albuquerque.
Maybe they used to live in Rhode Island.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he was adopted.
No, him and Sharpay are twins.
Adoptive twins.
Whatever. And then the phone call to Gabriella goes dead. She didn't answer. She was hanging out with her friends.
Oh, no.
So Troy goes back to basketball. All right. So then a new day. Gabriella's cleaning the pool and Ryan shows up. And Ryan is wearing a like white polo and some red and white like shorts with a funky design and like a red fedora. And she goes, whoa, Wildcat. And he's like, is it too much? Like, he's trying to wear red and white to fit in with the Wildcats now that he's like hanging out with them. And I wrote, you cannot tell me he's not gay when he cares this much about clothes and wearing East High colors now that he's working with them. He woke up that morning and deliberately was like, I need to wear the colors. Like, he's gay. I'm sorry. And Ryan's like, I know everyone thinks I'm just Sharpay's poodle. And Gabriella says, hey, if they're thinking that, they're not thinking that today. And I'm like, because of the clothes?
They really take this too seriously.
Like, hey, if they think you're just Sharpay's poodles, wait till they see her outfit.
They definitely gonna believe you now.
Yeah. And then she's like, what's that swing step you were doing before? And then they start like swing dancing. It's cute. But then Troy walks up. Oh no. And he's like, hey.
Troy, to the most gay guy you've ever seen in your life, like, starts getting jealous and being like, he's gonna steal away Gabriella.
This is like the most wrong Troy ever does. Is like how jealous he gets right now.
And he doesn't actually say anything bad. It's just a bad look on him.
It's an attitude thing.
Yeah. It's just the
insane. Ick. As if like Ryan is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Ryan is not a homewrecker.
To Troy Bolton, the straightest man you'll ever meet in your life.
It's really the gayest man you'll ever meet in your life versus the straightest man you'll ever meet in your life.
It's absolutely insane. So Troy says, hey, I called last night. I got hung up at the gym. And Ryan says, oh yeah, hey, my dad says you're doing great with all the college guys. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. And then Gabriella's like, you missed out on a fun night. It was a great game. And Ryan goes, oh yeah, but the best part was the dessert. Her mom makes the best brownies. And Troy says, yeah, I know, I've had them.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I've had them.
I don't. You get so mad and it doesn't make sense.
He's so pissed. Ryan's trying to make polite conversation.
But he doesn't. It's like, oh, I know. I have your girlfriend's brownies.
Ryan just leaves. Like, he's like, okay. And then Troy and Gabriella just look at each other in silence. And then Troy leaves. Like, they have nothing to say to each other. It's so awkward. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the drama. So then Troy goes into the kitchen where he's like given some food. And Zeke's like, how'd it go with the Red Hawks? And Troy says, oh, you know, they're very tall. And Zeke's like, well, we got Vince from maintenance to play, so it worked out, in case you were wondering. And Troy is kind of walking away, but he goes like, oh, yeah, maybe we can play later today. And Chad says, I don't know, check with Vince.
Ooh.
They're so bad.
They're so bad.
Again, this has all happened in 24 hours.
This whole plot has happened in like a week.
A week. Yeah, literally. But since Troy got the job, it's been a day. It happened yesterday.
Yep. Oh, my God.
And so Troy says, hey, Mr. Evans set up the workout, not me. And Chad says, did you even ask to include us, Captain? We've already talked about this, but fuck Chad. And Troy says, I didn't go looking for the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks came to me, okay? I didn't sign up for this golf job. Fulton offered it. I said yes, my decision. But I show up to work same as you. So chill, man. You're so right, Troy. And Chad says, you get a speck of dirt on you and someone dry cleans it. And Troy's like, oh, and you wouldn't do the same thing. And Chad says, if I was as good as you? And Troy says, I did not say that. Because he didn't say that. That's not what he was saying. Chad, you're a little bitch. And then Troy says, oh no, sorry, Chad says, you didn't have to. And Troy said, and neither did you.
The drama's fun. I just wish it was more justified.
I hate Chad so much in this argument. Like, Troy is 100% in the right, and I'm so mad about it.
Yeah.
Chad, but they make Troy seem like he's in the wrong, yeah. And I hate it.
This whole movie's Troy's movie.
Yeah.
And they really make him go through this emotional turmoil when it's just not deserved.
It's not deserved. Chad says, we didn't vote you captain because of your jump shot. We did it because you're the guy who usually knows what's up. But I guess things change. And Troy says, you don't have me all figured out, okay? And I don't answer to you. And Chad says, maybe you should start answering to yourself. We have been brothers since preschool. I don't know. If I don't know who you are lately, then who does?
I don't know. Maybe your dad, who's been very accurate about the situation.
Yeah, I feel like his dad knows him better than you do, Chad. I think I know more about American Girl doll than you do, genius. I think I know more about Troy Bolton than you do, Chad. God. So Chad, it's been literally 24 hours.
Chad got so steamed.
And he's just like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And Troy says, I didn't ask for this. It just happened. And I said yes. And Chad's like, well, they're treating you too well and not treating us well enough for the job that we signed up for that you recruited for us. So I'm mad about it. I don't even recognize you anymore. God. So then Fulton comes in and makes him get back to work. Okay, cut to Taylor helping Mrs. Evans set up tables for the talent show, and Sharpay calls over Troy and the boosters. She's like, the boosters are going to be right here at this table for the talent show. And then she's like, okay, let's go rehearse now. And Troy says, please just take it easy on me. I'm still new to the singing thing. And she goes, 5, 6, 7, 8. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You are the music again. Na 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 na. So this is a remix of a transposed version of You Are the Music and Me. It's like up tempo, it's super fun, it's Sharpay and Troy. Troy feels very uncomfortable during the whole thing. It's very over the top and fun.
It's the first song we've gotten in a while.
It has been a while since we got a song. Last song was I Don't Dance. So as a kid, I feel like I liked this version more, but maturing is realizing that Sharpay's version isn't as good.
And when it's the exact opposite in the first movie.
Yeah, Yeah, which is crazy.
Side note, we're going to compare those two. I feel like what I've been looking for original versus, or what I've been looking for Sharpay version versus You Losing Me. I know we've already compared what I've been looking for.
Yeah, but there's more songs than I
this is very much the Sharpay remix popify.
Yeah, so in the context of like Sharpay remixed this song, how do they compare?
I think what I've been looking for kills it.
I think it's better, yeah. Because it like actually improved the song and this one didn't. Yeah. Yeah. So all right, another point to High School Musical.
4.5 to 2.
2.
Oof.
Wow. So they have like wind machines and stuff. It's crazy. Troy's not happy about this. So then after the song, Sharpay is like, Troy, I've always known you were special. And it's pretty obvious I'm special too. I think we were meant to sing together, don't you? And then Troy sees her in a wedding dress for a second and freaks out and leaves. Which is funny. This is like the goofy Sharpay that I love. Yeah.
The goofy Sharpay is a fun Sharpay.
She's so fun. All right. Cut to shirtless Troy playing basketball by himself on the better Lava Springs basketball
Guess what?
court.
He misses a shot because just like the first movie...
He misses like a bunch of shots.
He can't shoot a basketball when he's emotionally disturbed.
When he's a little depressy, he can't.
This is going to be terrible when he's in college and he's like struggling with a class.
He's struggling with theater and Gabriella isn't returning his calls.
His coach is going to cut him from the team. They don't. Yeah, and the scouts haven't caught on to that.
And he's gonna be put in chorus line, like in the chorus in the musical, and be like, "This sucks." And yeah, it's gonna be stupid. He's gonna hate college, and maybe he'll drop out.
What a terrible choice. We'll talk about it in High School Musical 3, how he makes the worst choice for his life.
Yeah. And then he like hears music from a building that's like blocks away. That's inside, but he like puts on his shirt and he goes and checks it out. He walks across the bridge. I don't know. We see Ryan rehearsing with the Wildcats, and it's the instrumental to Every Day. So it's like a little sneak peek to that song. And I wrote, I guess they already had that song picked out. Who's gonna sing the lead? With Gabrielle, was it gonna be Ryan? Probably.
Was it Chad?
No, Chad wouldn't agree to that.
It would be Ryan.
Yeah. Okay, so then Troy looks in on them, and they're dancing, and he actually, like, smiles, like they're having fun.
He's happy, they're happy.
Yeah,
but Sharpay's not.
The dancers are killing it, and Ryan's, like, leading them. And then Ryan and Gabriella hold hands, and they skip down the line. But then Sharpay rolls up, and Troy hides. And everyone leaves except for Ryan. Gabriella leaves last. Ryan kisses her hand. Oh my god. But they don't really make a big deal of it. Sharpay goes to yell at Ryan. She's like, do you want us to lose the Star Dazzle Award to a bunch of dishwashers? And Ryan's like, us? Us? It's just you now, huh? Guess that's showbiz. And then Sharpay's like, when did you become one of them? And Ryan's like, I'll take that as a compliment. But you and Troy have a good show, sis. And Sharpay says, we plan to. And then he leaves. And then Sharpay's like stressing out. And she looks at the drummer who's still there and goes, give me a beat. And he goes, and she struts out. It's so good.
It's very good.
And then she struts right into Fulton's office. And she says, the talent show means something to me and my family. Those Wildcats will turn it into a farce. Mm-hmm. And Fulton says, isn't your brother one of them now? And she says, don't mention that traitor to us. Because she has her dog.
Yeah, Boy's in this scene. You remember Boy?
Yeah.
He's very important in the fourth one.
Oh my god, yeah. Fulton says, employee involvement is a tradition here. And Sharpay's like, too bad. They need to work that night. And Fulton's like, okay, they're also your classmates. Like, you might want to think this one out. And Sharpay goes, okay, done. Now do it. And Fulton is stressed.
I'm just reading your notes, and you put Fulton is stressed. The title of the next one, Fulton is stressed.
I didn't even notice that I did that because I did the titles later. Fulton is stressed. Fulton is stressed. Guys, this is a big moment. Outside, Taylor's on her golf cart. I was about to say something out of pocket.
You can say it and cut it.
I'm gonna say it and cut it.
Kelsey, cut this.
Cut this. She's being as cunty as ever. Cut it.
Leave it in.
Fulton hands her flyers and says, "Hey, will you pass these out to the staff? But do it at the end of a shift."
Yeah, Fulton's like, please do it at the end of the shift. I am not ready for this.
And Taylor's like, wait, Mr. Fulton. And he's like, no, too bad. This is business. Welcome to the world of adults who want to keep their jobs because they have bills to pay, even though they don't want to do it, but they have to for the paycheck.
I like how that's both a statement to Taylor that's like genuine, but also just like, I'm done.
I'm so done with this. I know it's unfair, but I really need the money because I'm broke.
Fulton's iconic.
Oh, he's so good.
They should have brought Fulton back for High School Musical 3. That's what
that
it was missing. Enroll him in school. I don't care. Make him a teacher.
Oh, man. And then Taylor says, "Sir, can I get you some tea?" And he says, "Chamomile would be lovely." And then he gets in her cart. So
great.
Good. That's so good. All right. In the kitchen, the kids are just like grooving. They're having fun. Who needs Troy Bolton?
They're grooving to the beat.
Yeah. Taylor comes in and makes the announcement that they can't do the show and they have to work that night. It says no staff performing, no exceptions. Except obviously Troy is an exception, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's not Troy's fault. She says, "Sorry guys, it's Fulton's orders." And Chad says, "No way, it was this Fulton's idea. It had to have been Sharpay." And
notably, Troy has not seen this poster as well.
Oh, yeah, no, Troy's not even there. It's everyone else finding out. And Gabriella storms out. All right, so here's the big Gabriella and Sharpay fight. Gabriella says, "Forget about the rest of us. How about the fact that your brother has worked so hard, very hard on the show?" And Sharpay says, "Boo-hoo, he'll be on the show. He'll do celebrity impressions or something. And don't lecture me about Ryan after the way you've been interfering with Troy's future."
I love this part so much. The fact that Sharpay can come up with a reasonable explanation for everything that she's doing. She's clearly thought about her defense here before.
Oh, yes.
I love it because it's clearly a lie. Gabriella doesn't believe it, but I love it.
It's so good. She says, "You've got him written up by Fulton after sneaking on the golf course and swimming after hours. I had to step in just to save Troy's job," which is a lie.
But it's a lie, but it's a theoretically believable lie.
She's like, "Actually, you're the problem with Troy's future, Gabriella." And Gabriella says, "I'm not interested in what you think you're doing for Troy. That's between you and him. But you're messing with my friends in my summer, and that's not okay with me." That's a really good comeback. Mm-hmm. She's like, "I don't care, what you're doing to Troy. Okay? Stop fucking with my friends." And Sharpay says, "You just don't like the fact that I won."
This would work, except Sharpay hasn't won.
She's, theoretically won Troy.
Yeah.
But Gabriella comes back with literally the best clapback. She says, "What's the prize? Troy? The Star Dazzle Award? If you have to go through all of this to get just one, I don't want any part of it. You're very good at a game that I don't want to play. So I'm done here. But you better step away from the mirror long enough to check the damage that will always be right behind you."
So good.
Oh, it's so good.
Scriptwriters cooked.
They cooked. And Troy's watching, and Sharpay's like, "Girls!" And she walks away.
Yeah,
because she has nothing
to
say.
Her girls?
Yeah, her girls are there. So then Troy comes up, and he says, "What do you mean you're done here? You can't quit." And Gabrielle's like, "Us working together sounded good, but plans change, and people change."
He's like, "I'm not having fun here. Goodbye."
And she's like, "The talent show is very important to Sharpay, and evidently for your future. So it's cool. Just make it happen. Wear your new Italian shoes."
They really bring up these Italian shoes.
And Troy says, "No, I'm still me." And she says, "Blowing off your friends, missing dates. If that's you, it's good to know. It's been 2 days."
Taylor got in her ear.
I know. And Troy says, No, I'm just doing it for the scholarship thing." Gabrielle says, if you keep acting like someone you're not soon enough, that's who you become. And he says, I meant what I said about movies and summer and just being together. And Gabrielle says, I'm sure you did at the time. But I also meant what I said, that I want to remember this summer, but not like this, Troy.
It's a decently adult fight, except for the fact that the premise isn't good.
Yeah.
Gabriella is being very kind and considerate. Troy's being an active listener. I appreciate those aspects. I just, again, don't think the reasoning for her to be like, I'm done.
The way this is so dramatic, too, when she's leaving. They're
not even breaking up.
I know. As a kid, well, they kind of are. As a kid, it's so dramatic the way she's like leaving. It's like she's never coming back. When she's just quitting the job.
Yeah.
It's not like they're all living there. She was going to leave for the day anyway. But yeah, it's very dramatic. They act like she's moving away and he's never going to see her again.
Yeah. High School Musical 3 is going to be awkward.
Okay, so now we are at Gotta Go My Own Way, which is such a good song. So in the like soundtrack version of this song, it starts with Troy. Listen.
The fact that the double sigh is something we make fun of all the time.
It's so funny. This is not in the movie. I don't know why they put this in
I don't know why.
But it's absolutely incredible. And I love that it's in the CD version. So we start. I gotta say what's on my mind. Something about us doesn't seem right these days. Troy is listening very intently.
He's very active listening, very paying attention.
They're acting their asses off. Like Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens are giving their performance of a lifetime. They're both already
No
crying.
one phoned in this movie, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
It's very impressive that no one phoned in this movie. I think people phoned in High School Musical 3.
Probably, yeah. She has to brood by some lockers.
Because this is a Gabriella song.
Yeah, so what is it if she's not like leaning against the locker singing about it? Okay, so then she walks off and Troy sprints after her to meet her on the bridge. This is so good.
The duet portion of this song is incredible.
It's so incredible.
What about us?
What about everything we've been through? But what about trust? You know I never wanted to hurt you. But what about me? What am I supposed to do? And then they sing and he goes, what about us? And like while she's singing the chorus.
But I'll miss you.
I want you to stay. I gotta go my own way.
This song pops off.
Oh
it's
my
good.
God, it's so good. And her mom is just waiting in the minivan the whole time watching them.
She was gonna pick her up anyways.
And then, okay, so she like hands him something, then she runs off to the minivan. She's looking. It takes her like a full minute to get into the minivan because she keeps looking back. And Troy like watches her and then looks down at his hand like he's been holding the necklace and he waits like 30 seconds to look at it.
She gave the necklace back.
No, the T for Troy necklace.
The branding. So we got to compare this to
When There Was Me and You.
When There Was Me and You, which is great, but this clearly wins.
Beats it. Yeah, this song is so good, and When There Was Me and You is good, but this one is better. So that's a point to High School Musical too.
Yeah. So 4.5 to 3.
Nice. At home, Troy is sad, and Dad's like, "Well, you usually eating these off the grill. What's up, buddy?"
That's a perfect Coach Bolton impersonation.
And he's like, let's call the guys, get a game going. And Troy's like,
it's 9 o'clock.
It's like dark out. Troy says, they wouldn't come even if I called. And Dad's like, what? And Troy says, do I seem different this summer? It's been like a week. Am I different?
Maybe it's been more time and we're not giving it credit.
The way his friends and girlfriend have gaslit him is insane. Dad says, yeah, you dress a lot better. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Maybe my friends are right. Maybe I'm turning into a jerk with new shoes. And his dad says, new shoes? Not a new kid. Where's this coming
Italian
from?
leather.
Italian shoes. And Troy's like, I've been so focused on my future, but Gabriella quit. Chad won't talk to me. I know the scholarship is important, but... And Dad's like, it's only important if it makes sense to you. And Troy's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And Dad's like, you know what? I've known this kid for a long time.
He picks up a picture of Troy in Troy's room.
From the first movie.
But it's just Troy from the first movie. They could have done like a kid photo and it would have made so much more sense. But no, it's a picture of Troy from last movie.
Which was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Max.
I know this kid. Why does he have a picture of himself from 6 months ago in his bedroom?
I mean, you do like sport photos.
Yeah. He's like, I know this kid for a long, long time, and I have faith in him. He'll figure out what the right thing to do is. Shout out Mr. Bolton. I think this is his last scene.
He's good.
He's been good. All right. Oh my God. Here we go, guys. Troy goes into the kitchen, and everybody stops talking when he comes in. It's really awkward. And Kelsey just hands him the flyer that says, like, staff isn't allowed to perform.
Yeah, he hasn't seen this till now.
Yeah.
So this is what Gabriella was like, kind of the last straw for her. So
yeah. So then Troy like crumples up the paper and he storms out onto the golf course. And he has so many feelings inside.
And there's only one way to express those feelings.
With the kazoo. Okay, so Troy has a lot of feelings that can only be expressed in kazoo, obviously. But in reality, you know, everybody's always talking at me. This song is so good.
This is so good. I have some bones with Get You Out in the Game, which is the clear comparison to this. I'm just going to spoil our ranking on this. This has no issues. Bet on It is iconic in every way. I mean, it would be nice to have some sport choreography, but guess what they do with the golf?
You know what bothers me the most about Get Your Head in the Game? That it's not Zac Efron singing it.
Yeah, that's a problem with High School Musical 1.
Yeah.
But realistically, this is so perfectly over dramatic camp.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. It's so goofy. It's just Zac Efron running around a golf course.
The choreography is so simple, but so fun to watch. There's a reason this is like a meme.
Yeah. They filmed this for 6 days.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after the first couple choruses, when it goes into the bridge where it goes, gotta work on my swing, gotta do my own thing, and goes like boom. There is a pop can sound effect. Yep. Please, if you're going to do anything on this episode, listen to Bet on It. When it gets to that bridge, you hear a
it's just opening a pop can.
I can't unhear it. Whoever was in the studio remixing this added a pop can sound effect. It's so good.
And then he gets to the serious part of the song.
It's no good at all to see yourself
looking in the water trap.
Your face. And it's like a perfect reflection that was clearly digitally put. Yep. So amazing. And then he slaps the water. I'm not gonna stop. Not gonna stop till I get my shot. That's to my end of the plan. You can bet on it, bet on it, bet on it, bet on you can. Bet on me. And then he just sprints and he's jumping. And it's like one of the best things that ever come out of the whole franchise.
No, realistically, yeah.
Yeah.
And truthfully, like High School Musical 3 follows it up pretty fucking great too.
With Scream.
Yeah. I feel like consistently, if there was one thing that I would say is the strongest High School Musical throughout, it's the Troy songs.
The Troy Who Am I songs.
The Troy Angst songs. The Troy Existential Crisis songs.
Yeah, he's in all three of them are him struggling with his identity.
Yeah. That's the point of the series.
Yeah.
And I love them all.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, Bet on It, iconic, amazing.
Yeah.
Worth the price of admission.
Yes. All right, so now we're outside the talent show. It's getting set up. We hear Sharpay scream, and it's because Troy is doing the show anymore.
Oh my God, Troy's there in a Wildcat shirt because he's now part of the team again.
He's like, I'm not doing the show. And she says, a duet means 2 people. And he's like, employees aren't allowed to be in the show. And she says, but you're an honorary member. And Troy says, not anymore. I asked Fulton for my kitchen job back. The way he's
like, allow that to happen.
The way he's just like, can I go back to this job instead of just quitting?
Because he still wants to be part of the staff.
Yeah. Well, he wants to make it up to his friends and still be there. But yeah. He says, I don't like the way you've been treating my friends, which is very good. And this is a good way to stand up to that.
Yeah.
But then he says, and I don't like the way I've been treating them either.
Which
You did nothing to them, Troy.
I just wish this movie gave us a little bit more of Troy being like caught up in the fame and the fortune.
Like, Troy's a bystander in all of this.
I wish he was more of an active participant because it would make the plot work.
Yeah, they should have made Troy worse.
They needed Troy to have more flaws.
But he's amazing.
But we have to judge him as he is.
So he says, I'm doing something about it. And Sharpay says, but the boosters are coming to see you. And Troy's like, so I'll be their waiter. They'll be thrilled. And she says, but this could change your life, Troy. And he says,
I'm like, singing for a bunch of boosters is going to change my life?
No, but just all of it. The whole scholarship thing and the opportunities he's been given. But he says, I'm more interested in what my friends think of me.
I don't love, like, this.
I hate the moral of this story.
Which, like, on a very surface level, yes, like, your friendship matters.
And how you treat your friends matters. But
on a very further level, how your friends think of you versus building for your future, you should build your future.
If your friends don't support you and the opportunities you're given in you building your future, then they are not good friends.
Yes. And this, we've said these lines 20 times today.
He says, and what I think of myself, which is fair. But he's just purely being gaslit into thinking he's that person.
If I get more interested in what I think of myself, I would be cool with it. But that's not what he says.
I like that he's taking a stand because they were kicked out of the talent show. But the way we got here is bad. Okay, so Troy's out. And Sharpay is sad. And she's like, Kelsey, go find Ryan. Okay, so that night...
now we're on talent show night.
Yeah. We're almost at the end. I know this has been a long podcast. And it's mostly us just complaining about Troy's friends. But thank you for sticking with us. That night, people are coming for the talent show. Fulton introduces a tap dancer. That's fun. Ryan goes backstage to talk to Sharpay, and she's like, oh, thank God, Huma Huma is back on. And Ryan says, enjoy your pineapple on your own, sis. I'm not doing the show.
What?
And Sharpay's like, what? Come on. And he's like, you said you always wanted the spotlight, so now it's all you.
I sold the costume like you said I should. Get hoisted by your own petard.
I don't get why she's not down to do a solo. Because she doesn't have one prepared, maybe?
Yeah, but I still feel like Huma Huma, she was the only one singing it anyways.
No, Ryan starts the song. She has no one else. I feel like she's got to have songs in her catalog that she can sing by herself.
But that wouldn't work for plot reasons.
Yeah. So then Fulton's like, it's showtime, and Sharpay screams. So then Troy's in the kitchen, and he sees his friends, and Chad says, Kelsey told us what went down with Sharpay. And Troy says, I'm more interested in what went down between you and me, man.
It's very cute.
I was a jerk. And Chad says, yeah.
So
he says, yeah, you were a jerk, Troy. He gives no apology for the way he was behaving at all. This movie makes you believe that Chad was 100% in the right.
You don't gaslight us, movie. We know Chad was the mean jerk.
He was the real mean jerk. Troy's not a jerk. Maybe Troy was a jerk, but Chad was a mean jerk, which is worse than a jerk.
We have had this established.
Troy says, but hey, brothers fight. And we're still brothers. And then Troy says, hey guys, I messed up your show and I'm sorry. Which literally he didn't. Sharpay did. And Troy's taking full blame.
Yep.
Zeke says, yeah, because showbiz is our entire lives, right? Right?
Yeah. See, Zeke's like... forgiving.
He is. And
I feel like Zeke is an appropriate level amount of mad, maybe like slightly personally scorned.
Yeah.
So you can have a slight grudge against this stuff.
Yeah. And Troy says, I hope you haven't filled my slot in the 2v2 game. I did not know as a kid how important this 2v2 game was to the plot.
Like 4 times, which is wild for something we don't get to see.
And then Troy does a very dramatic turn. And Ryan just apparently has been there.
Yeah, it's clearly been a scene cut because Ryan was not in this room.
And Ryan, I know how hard you must have worked on the show, so I apologize. Again, it's not your fault, but whatever. Ryan says, hey, we've all had fun, or at least I have. And Chad's like, you should see this guy play baseball. And Troy, so seriously, says, I'm looking forward to it, and shakes his hand like, hey, I'm sorry I was mean to you when I thought you were stealing my woman. Let's make amends.
We're so good.
Oh my god. It's funny. Ryan says, hey, I don't really want to see my sister crash and burn. At least I think I don't. So you should sing with her.
Okay. Let's note this sincerity in his voice. He even says, at least I don't think I do. Yeah. So he clearly means it. He must have a change of opinion in the next 5 minutes unseen.
This is all part of a ploy. It's all part of a ploy. He says, hey, Troy, you should go sing with
Ryan's been so nice and caring in this whole movie.
Until now.
I know he has a grudge with Sharpay that is worth exploring, but you could be the bigger man and just let her be sad when her day's already ruined.
I'm viewing it as an avenue to get the Wildcats back on stage, as they should have been the whole time. But they really are mean to Sharpay, and it's like she kind of deserves it. But it is mean.
Well, let's explain what happens.
Yeah, okay.
So
Sharpay's crying to Fulton. She says, I don't deserve this humiliation. And Fulton says, you need to go out there. The lady with the sock puppet sucks.
Yeah, the other people we've seen at the talent show are clearly awful, which makes it make more sense why Sharpay wins every time. Yeah. I thought it was rigged, but maybe she's the only one who can do anything.
Yeah, true. And then Troy shows up. And he's like, I'm going to sing with you. I promise, and I keep my promises. But what's the first thing you said to me when I got here? And Sharpay says, bring me more iced tea. What? I think that's her favorite drink, personally.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what won.
He says, think harder. We're all in this together.
Did she really say that?
Yeah, she did. She goes, we're all in this together, right? Yeah. I don't think it was the first thing she said. But yeah, he says exactly. And Sharpay says, we are. So let's get out there and knock them dead. And to be fair, like, Sharpay shouldn't be getting what she wants after this. But she did spend the past few hours like crying in the dressing room.
Yeah, it feels like you've gotten the humiliation on Sharpay that was needed for the plot.
Yeah.
And she is the villain, but also they just set her up.
Yeah, but then Troy says, hold on, I'm only going to do it if the Wildcats can do it too. And Sharpay says, I just sort of wish you were doing this for me. You're a good guy, Troy. I think I even like you better than I like myself right now. Did I just say that?
Did I just say that ruins like the sincerity?
It does, yeah.
I feel like it would be a pretty good line and like
I think just heartfelt. A facial expression would have done it. And for being like, whoa, I just said that, but like without saying it out loud.
Yeah. You didn't need to make it into a joke. You could have let it play serious.
Yeah. And then Troy leaves and we see Kelsey like give a little fist pump. So she's part of the scheme.
She's part of the scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not innocent.
No. So then we see the staff all whisper each other like, yay, we can do the show. Woo. And then they get ready in the kitchen and Kelsey comes in and Ryan's like, the show is on. And Troy comes in and Ryan tells Troy like, hey, Sharpay wants you to learn a new song. And Troy's like, what?
Well, luckily, we know from the plot earlier, he can just look at a song for like 4 seconds and get it perfectly.
Yeah, he just memorizes it.
He does that.
Kelsey and Troy run off to quickly learn a new song. And I wrote, good thing he's so good at sight reading. All right. Now it's time for Miss Sharpay Evans singing with Troy Bolton. And everyone in the audience claps. And backstage, Sharpay.
Yeah, no one in the stage realized all the chaos that happened today.
No, it's crazy. And backstage, Sharpay's like, where's Troy? And then Troy comes in. He's like, hey, why did you switch songs?
That was weird.
And Sharpay's like, what? He's like, Ryan said. And Sharpay's like, what? And then Troy gets pulled away. And Sharpay says, but I didn't learn a new song. And Ryan says, exactly. And then the girls leave. Remember the girls?
So how do they get the... I guess Kelsey's playing the music. She's the music arranger. Okay.
Yep. Kelsey's playing the music. She taught the song. Like, this is a ploy that Ryan and Kelsey did. I wonder how far in advance they planned this. We're like, hey, let's tell Troy to go make amends with Sharpay so that she will get the Wildcats to be able to perform again. And then we'll just dupe her. And she won't perform.
It's just an extra insult to injury.
It really is. And they like bring her on stage later.
Yeah,
but...
they end up being like, oh, she's a part of it.
Yeah, and it's also like we're gonna make it a surprise for Troy that Gabriella's back.
Oh yeah, it's a plot twist.
Yeah, it's so okay. So here we are, every day. Once in a lifetime means there's no second chance. This song is really pretty.
The song is good, but it goes on too long.
It goes on too long.
But that's not the point.
But I think it has a little something in the beginning here. And so Troy starts the song, and then all of a sudden, Gabriella's voice, make it last forever. And he's like looking around like, where is she? Where is she? And they're singing together. And then she appears down the aisle. This is so dramatic and amazing. Like if you were a kid and you didn't act this out, singing karaoke, what were you doing?
I was the male part.
I think I was the Gabriella part, but I think I've done both. Because it's so fun being Troy to be like, what? Where is she? And then you appear. It's so good. And then she's walking down, and as they're singing, they look at each other, and the wind is blowing in his hair. And there's a spotlight on her, which is facing away from the stage. How did they put a spotlight on her in the audience?
They had all the tech prepared. It's amazing.
And guys, what a little goof. She's wearing the Troy necklace.
Oh my god, did you catch that little goof?
Oh my god, what a little goof. I think she like broke into his locker.
And took
it back personally. Yeah. Or probably Taylor did.
So they sing every day.
Every day. And I love the little improv little dance they do. It's so cute seeing them perform together again on stage like they did for Breaking Free. And
speaking of Breaking Free clears this.
Yeah,
it's Breaking
Free clears this, but like this is fun. And with
this
the clouds,
lasts too long.
And she's wearing a very cute white dress, and there's clouds. But yeah,
5.5 to 3.
They just sing the chorus over and over and over and over again, which gets really repetitive. But then everybody joins in, and Troy's like, whoa, what?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's just continuously Troy being surprised, except Troy invites Sharpay on the stage.
Yeah, Troy brings Sharpay
and
up.
She just figures out the song because it's simple.
It's simple. And then they all hold hands in a circle and like dance and jump, which probably looks really stupid from an audience perspective. Like we get an overhead shot of it, but from the audience, it's like
they just see the backs of a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Okay, and
that's worthy of the Star Dazzle Award if I've ever heard of it.
Yeah. So then it's over every day, yeah. Okay. The end, yay. So then Fulton comes up and he's like, whoa, well, the Star Dazzle Award goes to, and Sharpay takes the award and the microphone and goes, my brother Ryan.
Whoa, she gave it up to her brother. And redemption.
And then they hug.
Aww.
This is the tiny little bit of Sharpay redemption we get, which is 2 seconds, just like the first movie. They're very consistent, and Sharpay starts the movie bad, and then they try to redeem her for 2 seconds at the end. So
certainly it's like that in Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure too. I'm lost.
Okay. So then we get to nighttime out on the golf course. Na 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 na, yeah. They're just playing the audio from You're the Music and Me, when Kelsey starts it, and then Gabriella and Troy come in. And we get to pan over all of the characters.
Oh my god, we see them all holding lanterns and looking at shooting stars.
Oh my god, look at the shooting star. And then Chad's shirt says he did it.
Great shirt.
It's a good shirt. And yeah, they're all standing in line just laughing. And they all run down, and Gabriella says, here's to the future. And Troy says, no, here's to right now. And then they finally kiss, and they let go of the lanterns.
It only took 5 kisses?
Yeah, I think this is the 5th one. So the moral of the story is, don't worry about the future. Just worry about what your friends think of you right now, especially if you're in high school.
Yeah. Again, don't agree with the moral. if you break it down to the most bare bones, which is like, don't change who you are for someone else, which is just the plot of the first movie.
Yeah.
Like, sure, but at least it was packaged in a fun way.
So then there's fireworks for some reason. Maybe it's 4th of July.
It could be 4th of July.
It could be. And they kiss again, and then the sprinklers come on, and they kiss a third time? 3 kisses? For free? Damn. And then they hug, and they watch their friends run around in the sprinklers. And it's a cute little moment. All right, final song, guys. Final song.
This movie definitely takes place over multiple weeks, even though we only see the course of a couple days. Just thinking about it, how else did they have enough time to prepare for the talent show?
I know. Is the talent show like a month in to
Something
summer?
like that.
Oh, we also don't know when in summer they started.
It's probably like, if we assume this is 4th of July, because I think that's a good assumption.
Maybe they started like
this has
mid-June.
probably like been a month.
Yeah.
Which that feels more reasonable.
Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. My
No.
I don't remember how it counts in. Wait. How does all for one count in?
Here's the truth. All for One is extremely forgettable. 6.5 to 3. Saying it now.
So, okay. So the 6 start up on the rocks, which how sad that Kelsey doesn't get to be part of the
she's playing the piano in the
back.
back.
She is. I've never seen that before either. Where like Kelsey is there. It's always so fun watching these, and I notice things I've never seen before for these movies I've watched a million times. Kelsey is there. She's playing piano, and they take turns singing. And I love the little drum part. Hear the rhythm of the drums. So this was the choreography you learned from the dance along airing, and I did learn the choreography, and it's so fun, and I still know the choreography, and it's a blast.
Too bad the song is the worst one in the movie.
Okay, but it's not bad. It's a good time. You can't.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is the one that it's the most forgettable, not essential song.
This summer has just begun. And then the boys and girls go on opposite sides of the pool.
I'm just saying, we, after Bet on It, going straight after Gotta Go My Own Way, that's such a high 1-2 to end with every day, which is not bad, but drags on too long and is not as good as the previous 2 solos.
Yeah.
And then ending with All for One, which is just a forgettable song.
But it's like a fun party beach party. Fun party beach party.
This is what you hate Surf Surf Crazy for.
I don't hate Surf Surf Crazy. You're thinking of the other one.
The ending
song is not Surf Surf Crazy.
Shit.
It's, yeah. Get fucking checked.
Fun in the Sun.
No. Do it again. Let's run. Surf's Up. That's what it's called.
Oh, how could I get those confused?
Yeah, how dare you, fake fan of Teen Beach Movie, get that wrong? Well, Surf's Up is like, my biggest issue with it is that it's just the 2 of them in what's supposed to be an ensemble group number. Yeah. But whatever.
We're talking about Teen Beach Movie.
Yeah. High School Musical 2. So big choreo time, I think, is really fun. I love that they have like a little partner choreography going on.
And we get to see explicit ships.
Yeah. So, okay, obviously Troy's with Gabriella and Chad is with Taylor. The other pairings is Sharpay with Zeke.
Of course.
Which, yeah, I guess, because Zeke loves her.
Because Sharpay and Ryan being together would be...
just not good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Ryan is with Martha, which is fun. And Kelsey's with Jason. So the only thing that probably should be switched, especially... it with hindsight,
if you're gonna do purely hetero couples,
with foresight of the pairings in High School Musical 3, Ryan should be with Kelsey and Martha should be with Jason, especially since Martha and Jason are such throwaway characters. Ryan and Kelsey like ployed together to dupe.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, neither of those characters are straight.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna fake that they're gonna be straight, they'll be each other's peers.
Yeah. And oh my God, Miley Cyrus is there dancing.
Whoa,
Crazy.
I can't believe she was the Hannah Montana star picked.
Yeah, and then they get back on the rocks, and it ends with Troy and Gabriella jumping into the pool.
Oh my God, pool party.
Woo! And then the fabulous instrumental plays in the credits. How do you feel about that choice for the credits?
It's interesting. I feel like they were ready to push Fabulous as a song, but they also wanted to be like, that's the song where this whole movie was fabulous.
I feel like it really vibes for the credits, especially because they play bloopers during the credits.
What other song could have they done in the credits?
Like, I feel like you don't want to do Music and Me. They've already reprised it.
They could have done What Time Is It?
I don't know.
Honestly,
I kind of like it. I like it because it's just the instrumental and it has just kind of the funky vibe instead of being too upbeat.
I don't think it's a bad choice. I feel like What Time Is It's the only other one I could think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Work This Out really fits.
No. Other than like continuing All for One.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and okay, yeah. So we get some bloopers in the credits, which I love.
That's one of the best things you can do with the credits.
It's so good. They have a blooper where like Troy hands Sharpay balloons with the golf club, which is funny. Or when the golf cart doesn't work and Troy starts pushing it. That it's good stuff. It's good. And that, my friends, is High School Musical 2.
Can't believe we did it. And it only took 8 hours. You're going to have a hard time cutting this one down to just the useful stuff.
It's crazy. We spent so long watching it and so long talking about it. This is a very important movie. And we love it. Do not get us wrong. Yeah. And as much as I yelled at them for
fans of this
what
movie,
they did to Troy,
I hope we did it justice for you. We really like this movie. We understand how important it is to a lot of people. It's important to us.
It's important to my childhood.
I have a lot of respect for this film, but also not enough to just not point out all these stupid stuff that I have complaints about. Oh my gosh. I think overall... There were 3 separate points in here where I took like 5 minutes to explain a niche sports thing.
Overall, I've wavered a lot on my opinions of the High School Musical movies. I think like the plot and the magic of High School Musical 1 can't be beat, but there's what really thrives in the second one is the music.
What's the second? Here's the thing. I kept the notes of what song do we think is better, kind of for the idea of if you asked either of us separately which film has the better average song, I think we both would have said High School Musical 2. However, also, All for One lost We're All in This Together. And we don't even need to debate that. High School Musical 1 did win 5.5 to 5.
So the half point
from Humanu Apua was the difference maker.
Okay, otherwise they're tied. But that's just because plot. If I'm listening to the soundtrack on Spotify, I want to listen to High School Musical 2. Yes. I think more, but there's so many bangers in the first one too.
Evidence of the first movie, even if his songs are fundamentally a little bit worse and the dancing's worse, they hit harder.
Yes.
And that makes up for it.
Yeah, you really just can't capture the magic of the first one again.
They captured it very well.
They did. It's a very good sequel. It's very good. And
this is way better than your average sequel. Yes. But the plot of the first one is very tight for how basic it is.
Yeah.
This plot is not tight at all.
No.
It has a lot of holes.
It has a lot of issues. And I don't like how they treat Troy.
Yep.
Like his friends treat him. It's not cool.
So if you have any thoughts on this episode, on DCOMs in general, on High School Musical 2, or us, and you've made it this far, please just email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com. If you got this far, just write us like the word turtle. I would be very impressed.
Okay.
Because we've been talking our ears off a lot here. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
So final Jank House ranking of High School Musical 2 is 18.
I feel like we might end pretty similar to that. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we do it a bit better.
Benji, you have it at 17, and I have it at 6. So take that.
I feel like that fits for both of us.
Top 10 DCOM, baby, for me. I'm a sucker for musicals, so heck yeah. Which I have High School Musical 1 at 4, so that's also top 10. Yeah. So incredible movie. We love it. Love the songs and the dancing. Plot could be better, but hey, you gotta love High School Musical as a franchise. Who doesn't?
Absolutely.
All right. So now to move on from that huge monumental event of high school 2, we gotta watch another DCOM in 2 weeks.
Believe it or not, we are continuing on with the podcast.
So, predictions on what you think it's gonna be.
It's gotta be something simple after the craziness of this. I'm gonna say like True Confessions.
I think we're gonna get in the Christmas spirit. I'm gonna say Christmas again, and I'm saying Christmas again because it's the only Christmas one I like.
All right.
So here we go. Spinning the wheel. Oh my god, finally!
Uh-oh.
You wanted Simple Baby too bad. We're watching Minutemen. Fuck yeah.
We're watching Minutemen.
Yes! I love Minutemen. We're getting bangers this set of 10, baby.
I'm excited to watch Minutemen. I'm never, ever sad to watch Minutemen.
Banger after banger after banger. Following up High School Musical 2 with Minutemen? Let's go!
What is this? A dream weekend in 2009?
All right. Tune in 2 weeks to watch Minutemen.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Scenes from our next episode.
Oh my god, is that the snowsuit guys? I love them.
Oh my god, is that Greg from Secession?
Oh my god, is that Jason Dolly? I've just never been in a DCOM before.
I think I invented time travel, but I may have stole from NASA.
You stole from NASA?
And we created a black hole.
Oh my god, guys, it's Albert Feinstein. Oh my god, I hope you don't go back in time and ruin our friendship. That might create a paradox.
Oh my god, you were my bully the whole time?
What?
Maybe I should have valued the friend I had right in front of me.
Whoa.
Whoa. Hell yeah. Step aside, High School Musical 2.
We may have just recorded for 8 hours.
No, it did not.
If you were, they don't need to know how much you cut out.
We cut out 4 hours of more ranting about Chad and how they treat Troy poorly.
You missed 3 hours of me just talking about how the Knicks and Sixers don't make sense in the lyric to work this out.